Welcome in here to another Elmira Pioneers live stream. The Pioneers, after splitting the doubleheader yesterday versus Jamestown back in Elmira, they have made the long trip up here to Niagara to take on the Power here on a Friday Night Lights baseball game. Hello, everyone. I am Alex Shepard, and I will be your play-by-play broadcaster tonight. The Pioneers currently still sitting number one in the West Division standings of the PGCBL. However, they are there just barely, as we are taking a look at them now. Pioneers sitting atop at 23 and 13. Batavia sitting second at 22 and 13, sitting right behind them. And so the Pioneers in a must-win game in order to keep the number one spot. Otherwise, Batavia will jump them if they are able to defeat the Newark Pilots tonight, as that's the game that is also going on around the PGCBL. And also, this is a must-win for the Power if they want to keep themselves in the playoff picture right here. Niagara sitting at 18 and 15. Auburn sitting at 18 and 16. And Auburn is playing Geneva tonight. And if Auburn were to win and Niagara lose tonight here against the Pioneers, then the Niagara Power would be knocked out of the playoff picture. And of course, the playoffs are the top four teams in the West Division standings. So the Pioneers safely in there for now. But really, they're looking to win tonight here to keep themselves up there at the top of the standings. The Pioneers, after dropping game one of the doubleheader yesterday against Jamestown in a brutal blowout loss, and then able to come back and get a actual forfeit win by Jamestown in game two. That's the first time I've actually ever seen a team forfeit. They intentionally walked Jake Keller at the end of game two in order to, with the bases loaded, I should say, in order to walk in the runs needed in order to end the game on a mercy rule. That was quite a weird situation, and it's the first time I had ever seen a team forfeit in a game. However, that is what happened last night. Jamestown did forfeit in game two, and so the Pioneers were able to get the split. But now they'll be coming here to Niagara with barely any pitching left. That is going to be the problem tonight for the Pioneers, is that almost all the pitchers on the list in tonight's lineup are position players, including the starter. The starter will be a position player tonight for the Pioneers, and the Pioneers are in desperate need of trying to get to those off days. Those off days are only 3 days away from now. They are off on the 24th and the 25th, and they are desperately trying to get there and still in the number one spot, considering they need those days in order to reset their pitching and rest their arms, as that is the number one priority for the last week of the season and going into the playoffs. And so now the Pioneers obviously trying to get through this one with the power of their bats. The bats are going to be the key tonight for the Pioneers. They're going to have to rely on them in order to score a bunch of runs in order to win this ball game. And from what I've heard talking with some of the Niagara Power staff here up in the press box, they're also out of arms, and they're also resorting to position players. They do have an actual starter who is a regular pitcher for them. However, the rest of the relievers tonight for Niagara might also be position players. So it's position players on position players right now in this matchup. And so I expect this game to be very, very high scoring. And it could be looking at like a 15-12 finish by the end of it all. And so I don't really know what's going to happen. We could also see a pitching duel. Who knows? Maybe the position players will be really good at pitching. I don't know. But anything can happen tonight in a weird and wacky matchup between the Pioneers and the Power. And so now I'm going to run quickly through the Elmira Pioneers starting lineup. Leading off, it'll be number 33, Kevin Noss, the center fielder. Batting second, it'll be number 77, Joe Muzio, the third baseman. Batting third, it'll be number 10, John Schroeder, the right fielder. Batting fourth, it'll be number 8, Cooper Smith, the extra hitter. Batting fifth, it'll be number 44, Chris Bear, the second baseman. Batting sixth, it'll be number 14, Jake Keller, the first baseman. Batting seventh, it'll be number 47, Ray Hernandez, the designated hitter. Batting eighth, it'll be number 2, Dom Presto, the shortstop. Batting ninth, it will be number 42, Spencer Robin, the left fielder. And batting 10th, it'll be number 24, Eric Charnetsky, the catcher. And Charnetsky is catching tonight to give all the rest of their catchers the night off. And Cooper Smith is the EH because he might be coming in to pitch later on. I don't know. We did see him pitch yesterday for 1 inning, if I remember correctly. And so Cooper Smith potentially coming back in here for an inning or two to pitch in tonight's ball game. And then, of course, on the mound for the Pioneers tonight, the starting pitcher in this game versus Niagara, it'll be number 40, Nick Montagna, who will be getting the start. Montagna has never started a game as a pitcher for the Pioneers this season. He has only been an infielder. or a DH or an EH so far for the Pioneers. So he'll be getting the start. Like I said, the Pioneers are down to position players. I think Zach Nelson was the only pitcher that was actually on the lineup sheet that is an actual pitcher and a full-time pitcher. By that I mean. And so Montagna will be getting the start tonight. I honestly have no idea what to expect from Montagna. I have no idea what his arsenal could be. I'm assuming probably fastball, curveball, changeup, slider, something similar probably to Cooper Smith's. However, I really don't know. So we can see quite a wide variety of pitches from Montagna tonight. And there were a lot of position players listed on the lineup sheet. And just to name a few, Kevin Serrano was also one of the other pitchers, the actual pitchers that were listed on the lineup sheet. Then you have Wes Gingrich, Kevin Noss, Cooper Smith, Cameron Sullivan, who is that new pitcher that just came in last night and pitched for 1 inning in Game 2 last night. And so he could potentially be coming back. And then also Dom Presto is listed on the lineup sheet as well. So a wide variety of position players and then a few pitchers available for the Pioneers to try and get through this game with a win, hopefully, as the Pioneers are fighting to keep their #1 spot in the West Division standings. As I said, Batavia hot on their heels. And so now I'm going to go through the Niagara Power starting lineup. Leading off for the Power, it'll be number 20, Zach Evans, the shortstop. Batting second, number 13, Andrew Fairbrother, the extra hitter. Batting third, it'll be number 44, Jackson Strong, the right fielder. Batting fourth, it'll be number 2, Vincent Morrow, the third baseman. Batting fifth, it'll be number 30, Andrew Stillinger, the designated hitter. Batting sixth, it'll be number 9, Cal Brazier. Batting seventh, it'll be number 41, Billy Morris, the second baseman. Batting eighth, it'll be number 28, Jeremy Galinsky, the catcher. Batting ninth, it'll be number 17, Brett Johnson, I should say, the left fielder. And batting 10th, it'll be number 16, Miles Pallister, the center fielder. And on the mound tonight for the Niagara Power, it'll be number 34, Brian Aduddle, who will be getting the start tonight. Aduddle, a familiar foe. The Pioneers have have hit against Aduddle before. Aduddle started in one of the previous matchups. I can't remember exactly which game. I know he didn't pitch last game, the last time that the Pioneers were here in Niagara, which was just a couple days ago on Monday, I do believe. And they were here, and they finished in a tie. That was the first tie of the season for the Pioneers. Tied 4-4, went all the way to extra innings. Cooper Smith came in that game and pitched the 10th inning and was able to get 3 outs in order to force a tie. So that was where the Pioneers got their one tie. The Pioneers, of course, 23-13-1 is their actual record. However, on point streak and on my standings, it will only show up as 23-13 because the ties don't count towards the win percentage, which determines the standings. And so, a very interesting matchup tonight between the Power and the Pioneers. This one could be one of the wackier games of the season. I have no idea what to expect. It's going to be interesting. I think a lot of offense is my guess and my prediction as to what's going to happen tonight. The Pioneers, of course, in their road blues with gray caps, gray pants and blue caps. Power in their home whites with blue lettering, white pants, and blue caps. Tonight, this will be the last time that the Pioneers come up here to Niagara to face the Power. And it'll be the last time, I do believe, overall, actually, that the Pioneers will be playing the Power during the regular season. Of course, there is still a possibility that during the playoffs, the Pioneers could come up against the Power. However, that is yet to be determined. And like I said before, since the standings are so close at the top within those top 4 seeds, it really could come down to the last day of the season in order to determine the actual seeds. And of course, there are only just 8 days left of this PGCBL 2023 regular season. And so just over a week left. It's closing fast. And so really time has flown by here during this summer. It's been an amazing roller coaster ride. And it's coming to an end shortly as the playoffs are coming right into view just at the end of next week. Of course, they will start on the 30th of July. That's what I've been told, is that round 1 will be on July 30th. Round 2 probably on the 31st or the 1st of or the 1st of August. I don't know the exact dates yet. And then the potential league championship would be on August 2nd or August 3rd. Of course, the Pioneers got a long way to go before they even think about that. And of course, in all likelihood, the Pioneers would be facing in that scenario, if they were to make it to a league championship, the Amsterdam Diamond Dogs, who are in the #1 team in the East, and they are the #1 team in the league by far. They have the best record. They've only lost 3 games this entire season. So, super crazy to think about that. But of course, the Pioneers got to take care of business not only tonight, but going forward in order to just make it out of the first round of the playoffs, which is, of course, where they finished last year. However, speaking of last year, actually, the Pioneers are 23-13. Last year, the Pioneers' regular season record was 24-21. So the Pioneers, if they were to win tonight, that would tie their win total from last year with a week left to go in the season. So the Pioneers looking to do much better overall than what they did last year in terms of overall record. And of course, so far this season against Niagara, they're 3-2-1. So they've done pretty well against the Power overall, but we'll have to see with all of the shortages of arms, I should say, how this game will shake up. And now you can see in the bottom right of your screen, there's a mound meeting going on here between the head coaches. And so I'm going to take a quick break here and step away, and I'll be back once this game is a little bit closer to getting going. I'm back here now as the starting lineup for the Power is being read out. And so this game is shortly going to be started here. It's a beautiful evening for baseball here. Clear skies, barely a cloud in them. Up here in Niagara, about 80 degrees. A beautiful evening on Friday Night Lights for baseball. Like I said, Pioneers, this is a must-win for both teams as the Power looking to stave off the Auburn Doubledays and keep them out of the playoffs. The Pioneers looking to keep that #1 spot in the West Division standings. And this game will be pivotal. One of those two things will be accomplished tonight. We'll just have to wait and see which one. Pioneers, they're looking to make it 2 in a row after picking up game 2 last night against Jamestown. 11-1 the final in that one. This will be the last time that the Pioneers have to come up here to Niagara and make the long road trip. So all of the games from now on are going to be a little bit closer to home for the Pioneers. Obviously, they still have quite a few road games coming up. As we take a quick look at the upcoming schedule here for the Pioneers, they'll be home tomorrow, the 22nd, versus Auburn for Faith and Family Night. Then they'll be on the road on the 23rd at Newark for a unconfirmed doubleheader. That one is yet to be determined whether that's actually going to happen or not, and we'll have to wait and see whether Newark backs out of it or not. They backed out of the last doubleheader we tried to have, and so we'll see whether Newark actually wants to play us, but we'll have to find out. Then they'll be off on the 24th and the 25th. Like I said, those off days are going to be crucial to rest the Pioneers pitching for these the last about week of games, and then the playoffs after that. And starting off on the 26th, they'll be home versus Newark, and then they'll be on the road again the 27th at Auburn. And so a little bit easier of a schedule coming up for the Pioneers. Obviously, a lot closer to home and a little bit weaker opponents coming up for the Pioneers. Their last time coming up here to Niagara, as we're about ready to get set here for the national anthem. So I'm going to step away here for a minute. Very nice rendition of national anthem as this game is about to get going here now. Of course, it'll be Brian and Duddle on the mound here first, as the Pioneers will be first up at the bats as they are the road team. And so Duddle will take his place on the mound and begin to warm up as the 8U kids who joined the Niagara Power for the starting lineup are now clearing the field. It'll be Galinsky catching tonight again for the Power. He has caught several times before against the Pioneers. Montagna will be the starting pitcher for the Pioneers, who we will get to see in the bottom of the first. Leading off at number 33, Kevin Noss, the center fielder. Noss led off he didn't lead off last night. He played last night against the doubleheader against Jamestown. It was actually Cam Levesque who was leading off last night, who is not in the lineup tonight for the Pioneers. And so Noss, a little bit of background on him, making his 16th start. He has a .229 batting average, 7 runs, 8 hits, 5 RBIs, 8 walks, 12 strikeouts, and 5 stolen bases. He is a 5'10", 190-pound sophomore outfielder from Montgomery College in his hometown of Miami, Florida. And I was right. Last time we saw him out was on the 20th yesterday versus Jamestown, where he had 1 run, 1 hit, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout in that game. And so he'll be leading off here against a Duddle for the Pioneers in the top of the first. Noss, one of the fastest players on the Pioneers roster. Him and Weston Gingrich, I do believe, are some of the faster guys, along with Matt Coronado. And so Noss, I believe the reason why he is leading off is so that if you can get Noss on base, then you have the potential for him to steal and try and move into scoring position to have some of the bigger bats like Muzio Schroeder, Cooper Smith, and Bear then drive him in potentially, who are obviously the 2, 3, 4, 5 hitters for the Pioneers. And so now it looks like a Duddle is about warmed up here, and Noss coming into the batter's box here as this one is about ready to get going. Noss always recognizable by that black batting helmet with white cream trim. Number 33 will now be stepping in here. And now the Pioneers, like I said, trying to get the bats going early. That's going to be key for them in this game, as they are not necessarily going to have the most reliable of pitching tonight. We'll have to see what Montagna has. But they'll be needing their bats. A double will set deal. That one is outside for ball one, and this game has officially gotten underway. 1-0 the count to Kevin Noss. No outs here in the top of the first. That one is swung on and popped back foul by Noss, and the count will go 1-1. 1-1 the count to Kevin Noss here. No outs in the top of the first. A Duddle, 1-1. Well, now set, deliver, swung on it, popped up into shallow right. Foul territory. Brazier is running for it. Right fielder will come across and make a play. That is Jackson Strong. And so Strong will catch the fly out here by Noss to put one out on the board in the top of the first. And so now, that'll bring on number 77, Joe Muzio, the third baseman. Muzio making his 25th start as a .273 batting average, 9 runs, 21 hits, 5 doubles, 1 triple, 12 RBIs, 12 walks, 20 strikeouts, and 11 stolen bases so far this season. Muzio will now step in here with one out in the top of the first. A Duddle now will set, deliver, swung on and missed by Muzio, so the count will go 0-1. 0-1 the count to Muzio, one out here in the top of the first. A Duddle 0-1 will set, deliver, that is upstairs for ball one. So the count will now even up at 1-1 to Muzio. 1-1 the count to Muzio. One out here in the top of the first. So aces wild the count here. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. A Duddle will set deal. Swung on a driven straight up to center and short. Shortstop will throw to first just in time. It did. Muzio tripped over the base. And Brazier was down on his knees, and so that was a very tough play by Brazier, but he did get him out. So that is a ground out by Muzio to put 2 outs on the board here in the top of the first. And so now that'll bring up number 10, John Schroeder, the right fielder. Schroeder, one of the best bats for the Pioneers, making his 35th start, which leads the team in that category. The .337 batting average, 19 runs, 34 hits, 6 doubles, 5 triples, 1 homer. 18 RBIs, 25 walks, 20 strikeouts, and 11 stolen bases as he takes strike one from a Duddle. So 0-1 the count now to Schroeder. 2 outs here in the top of the first. A Duddle now, 0-1. Will now set, deliver. That one is just inside ball one. So the count will now even up to Schroeder, 1-1. Still 2 outs here in the top of the first. A Duddle. 1-1 will set deal. That one is inside for ball two. So 2-1 the count out of Schroeder as he'll take the lead in the count. Still 2 outs here in the top of the first. A Duddle now, 2-1. Will now set deal. Swung on a driven up to center. The second baseman fields it, throws to first in time. And that will be a 1-2-3 inning for Brian A Duddle here in the top of the first. No runs for the Pioneers. We go to the bottom of the first right after this. Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the bottom of the first inning here. Nick Montagna on the mound here for the Pioneers. We're going to have to see what he got in this bottom of the first for the Niagara Power. Of course, leading off for the Power, it'll be number 20, Zach Evans, the shortstop tonight. In a bit of an interesting situation with Eric Charnetsky actually behind the plate. Charnetsky has actually never started at catcher before in a league game. He has started several times as the catcher in exhibition games, and also Coach Drum has said that he was the emergency reserve just in case anything happened to the catchers. Of course, all the catchers are still healthy and available from what I have seen, and so Charnetsky's just getting a start tonight at catcher, and he's getting the starting role, which is good to see, honestly. I'm interested to see how Char does back there, and so I'm also interested to see how Nick Montagna will do on the mound, as he is the guy on the mound. He had a quick word with Muzio and Keller. And so now with Evans stepping in here to face Montagna in the bottom of the first. Montagna now will set, deliver. That one is upstairs, ball one. 1-0 the count to Evans. No outs here in the bottom of the first. Montagna 1-0. Will now set, deal. That one is down low for an outside for ball two. So 2-0 goes the count to Zach Evans here. Montagna hasn't found the strike zone yet. Looking to find it here to try and get back in the count. Montagna 2-0. Will now set, deal. That is down low for ball three. So 3-0 the count now to Evans. Montagna needs a strike here to stave off a leadoff walk here in the bottom of the first. Montagna 3-0. Will now set, deal. That one is outside for ball four, and so that will be a leadoff walk here for Zach Evans to put a runner on first with no outs here in the bottom of the first. And so now that'll bring on number 13, Andrew Fairbrother, the extra hitter tonight. Fairbrother we've also seen pitch against the Pioneers before, but he will be the EH tonight. So potentially we could see him actually, because the extra hitter can come in as a pitcher in games. So potentially we could see Fairbrother down the road as a reliever of a Duddle pitching tonight. Montagna now will set, deliver. That is in there. Called strike one. The first pitch, the first strike thrown by Montagna of the night. So 0-1 the count now to Fairbrother. No outs here in the bottom of the first. Zach Evans off of first for the Power. Montagna will lean in, look over to Evans. 0-1. Will now set, deal. That is down low for ball one. So the count will now even up 1-1 to Fairbrother. No outs here in the bottom of the first. Evans still over there talking with Keller at first base. Montagna will lean in again. 1-1. Will now set, fire. That one is upstairs for ball two. So 2-1 the count now to Fairbrother as he takes the lead in the count. No outs here in the bottom of the first. Evans still over there at first for the Power. Evans, a big lead off first. Montagna, and Evans is going to steal. I caught it right, and Charnetsky couldn't quite catch it, so Evans is going to be safe at second, and the count will go 3-1 to Fairbrothers. That was a ball down low. So 3-1 the count to Andrew Fairbrother. No outs here in the bottom of the first, and Zach Evans now off of second for the Niagara Power. Montagna now looks over to Evans in second. Will set, deal. That is upstairs, ball four. So that will be back-to-back walks here for Nick Montagna to start off the ball game. And so now that'll put runners on first and second here, but no outs in the bottom of the first. Now that'll bring on number 44, Jackson Strong, the right fielder. Montagna has thrown one total strike and 8 balls so far. So he's 8 balls, 1 strike is his pitch ratio so far. Still no outs here in the bottom of the first. Runners on first and second for the Power. Montagna will set, deal. That one is in there. Called strike one. There you go to Montagna. 0-1 the count now to Strong. No outs here in the bottom of the first. Montagna looking to try and create contact, even though none of the Niagara Power's bats so far have been swinging at any of Montagna's pitching. They've just been taking it. That one is in there. Called strike two. Strong might have to be the first one to swing at a Montagna pitch as the count quickly goes 0-2 here now to him. Montagna looking for his first strikeout of the night and to put one out here on the board in the bottom of the first. Montagna now 0-2. Will now set, deliver, swung on and driven right field side. That is going to be foul, or excuse me, that is going to be fair. They're going to rule it fair. It looks foul from up here, but they're going to rule that fair. So that will be a ground down by Strong to Keller at first and to put one out here on the board in the bottom of the first. But that did advance the runners, so there are runners at second and third here now for the Power. And now that'll bring up number 2, Vincent Morrow, the third baseman. Montagna now with one out here in the bottom of the first, looking for out number 2 here. They're going to try and keep Evans where he is, as he is the runner on third. That one is swung on a driven right field side. That is fouling out of play over the fencing. So the count will go 0-1 tomorrow. One out here in the bottom of the first. Montagna 0-1. Evans at the bottom of your screen, number 20 off of third for the Power. Montagna 0-1 will set, deliver. That one is down low, called ball 1. So the count will go aces wild here. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Montagna now 1-1. Will set, deliver, swung on and drop back foul. So the count will go 1-2 now. 1-2 the count to Morrow. 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Montagna looking for his first strikeout of the night here to put 2 outs on the board in the bottom of the first. This would be a massive strikeout if Montagna can get it. 1-2 will set, deal, swung on a pop straight back. Charnetsky's going to go for it. It's going towards the dugout, and he will run out of room as that bounces into the Pioneers dugout. And so the count will stay 1-2 tomorrow, as that one bounced around for a little while in the Pioneers dugout. Everyone had to clear out as the ball was coming down. Charnetsky reacted a little bit late to that, but he almost got it. But still 1-2 the count, so Montagna can still pick up his first strikeout of the night here and put 2 outs on the board in the bottom of the first. Montagna 1-2. Will set, deliver. That one is down low and outside for ball 2. So the count will now even up 2-2 tomorrow. Still only 1 out here in the bottom of the first. This would be a massive second out here for Montagna if he can pick up the strikeout. This could be the difference between giving up a run and keeping this inning clean for Montagna. 2-2 will set, deliver. That one is just outside, called ball 3. So Montagna needs to find it here. 3-2 full count tomorrow. Does not want to walk Morrow, as that would load the bases for the Power. 3-2 the count tomorrow. Montagna looking for the strikeout. Will now set, deliver. That is going to be a hit by pitch, as Morrow was hit off of his shoulder. And so that'll be a hit by pitch for Morrow, who will now load the bases for the Power here with only 1 out in the bottom of the first. And so now that'll bring on number 30, Andrew Stillinger, the designated hitter. Stillinger coming in with the bases loaded and only 1 out. The double play is available for Montagna if he can get Stillinger to ground out to Presto at shortstop to potentially get out of the inning without giving up any runs. Anything else, though, will result in some runs for the Niagara Power. Montagna now will set, deliver, swung on it, popped back, left field side. Muzio coming for it right in front of me. He will make the play. And that will be a pop out by Stillinger to put 2 outs on the board. And so that is a massive help there by Muzio in order to help get Montagna another out. So 2 outs here at the bottom of the first. Base is still loaded. And Montagna just needs 1 more. And so now that will bring up number 9, Cal Brazier, the first baseman. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. This is a massive at-bat here for Montagna, looking to get out of this inning cleanly. Montagna, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Will now set, deliver, swung on a driven third base side. Muzio will go to first. That is in time. That's a ground out, and that will end the bottom of the first. No runs for the Power. Montagna gets 3 outs and strands the bases loaded for the Power. No runs. We go to the top of the second. Pioneers will look to get a lead right after this. Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the top of the second inning here. Pioneers and Power still deadlocked at 0-0. Nick Montagna able to get out of a bases loaded jam in the bottom of the first thanks to a couple ground outs. And so now leading off this inning for the Pioneers, it'll be number 8, Cooper Smith, the extra hitter tonight. Smith making his 24th start as a .292 batting average, 10 runs, 21 hits, 6 doubles, 1 triple, 9 RBIs, 7 walks, 10 strikeouts, and 8 stolen bases so far this season. Duddle still on the mound, will now set, deal, swung on a driven. That is into right. Strong is going back, and he will make the play in right. And that will put 1 out on the board thanks to a flyout by Cooper Smith. And one thing to note for tonight's game as well is the wind. There is a massive wind factor tonight. The wind is blowing all over the place. And so that could potentially result in some errors for the outfielders as the ball is shifting a lot more in the air than what it normally does. But now that I'm bringing up number 44, Chris Baer, the second baseman. Baer making his 13th start as a .353 batting average, 5 runs, 12 hits, 2 doubles, 8 RBIs, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts, and 2 stolen bases as he takes strike 1 from a Duddle. 0-1, a Duddle will set, deal, swung on a driven, right field side, that is foul and out of play. So the count will go quickly 0-2 now to Baer. 1 out here in the top of the second. Duddle still looking for his first strikeout here on this 0-2 count. Duddle now will set, deliver. That is upstairs off the mitt of the catcher. So the count will go 1-2. That did not come off of Baer's bat. That came off the top of the glove of Galinsky. So 1-2 the count out of Baer. Duddle now will set, deal, swung on a pop back foul by Baer, and the count will stay 1-2. Baer able to foul it off and stay alive. Still 1 out here in the top of the second. And Duddle now 1-2. Will now set, deliver, swung on a pop back foul. This time it's left field side, so the count will stay once again 1-2. But Duddle 1-2 still. Will now set, deal, swung and a miss by Chris Baer. That was tipped into the mitt of Galinsky, and so that'll be a strikeout for Brian Duddle to put 2 outs here on the board in the top of the second. And so now that'll bring up number 14, Jake Keller, the first baseman. Keller making his 26th start, a .253 batting average, 11 runs, 20 hits, 1 double, 2 RBIs, 7 walks, 23 strikeouts, and 2 stolen bases so far this season. Last time we saw him out was last night as he lines one into center. That is a base hit. A base hit single by Keller. as I was just caught looking at my stats, but he will go over to first now with 2 outs here in the top of the second. So Keller breaks the hitless streak here for the Pioneers. It puts a runner on first. And now that'll bring in number 47, Ray Hernandez, the designated hitter tonight. Hernandez making his 24th start as a 197 batting average, 7 runs, 15 hits, 3 doubles, 1 triple, 2 homers, 9 RBIs, 3 walks, 26 stolen bases and 26 strikeouts and 1 stolen base as he drives that one into left. That might get down. It will get down. That is a base hit. And Keller's going to go all the way to third. So that is a base hit single by Hernandez that just dropped right in front of me, about a foot fair of the line. And so that will put runners on the corners here for the Pioneers with 2 outs in the top of the second. Pioneers looking to get on the board early. And now that'll bring on number 2, Dom Presto, the shortstop, the 8th batter in their lineup. Presto making his 17th start as a 178 batting average, 7 runs, 8 hits, 1 double, 6 RBIs, 3 walks, 10 strikeouts, and 5 stolen bases on the season. And I think that last hit by Hernandez was thanks in part due to the wind, as Presto will take strike 1. Because the wind was messing with the left fielder as it was moving in the air, and it just, at the last possible moment, moved fair, just about a foot right of the third base line. A Duddle, 0-1 will set deal. That is just outside for ball 1. So the count will even up 1-1. Presto did show bunt on that last pitch. 1-1 the count to Presto. 2 outs here in the top of the second. Runners on the corners for the Pioneers. You can see Jake Keller at the bottom of your screens. A Duddle will set, deliver, swung on it, pop back foul. And so the count will go 1-2 now to Presto. 1-2 the count to Dom Presto. 2 outs here in the top of the second. Runners on the corners for the Pioneers looking to get on the board early. And they need as many runs as they can get in this one. Duddle 1-2. Will now set, deal. That is down low and outside for ball 2. So the count will now go deuces wild here as it evens up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the second. Duddle looks over to Hernandez at first. 2-2. And now we'll step off actually, as Dom Presto was granted time. He's clearing up his eyes actually. It looks like he's rubbing them with his batter's glove. But it looks like he'll step back in here. Deuces wild, still the count, so 2-2. Duddle looks over to Hernandez. And now we'll set, deliver, swing and a miss by Presto. He goes down swinging, and that will end the top of the second inning. Pioneers strand 2 runners on. No runs for them in this top of the second. We go to the bottom of the second right after this.
My father had a vision for the Finger Lakes wine industry. When Bully Hill was started, only 5 producers existed, and now there's over 300. And he firmly believed that you have to have a certain level of integrity and honesty with the people around you and yourself. And these are kind of the staples of what our business is. Bully Hill was built on the back of French-American hybrid vines. These varietals were developed in France in the 19th century, and they were brought over by my grandfather in the 1950s. And here at Bully Hill, we started the experimental farm, from where these hybrid varietals have made their way to almost all 50 states. As we become more environmentally conscious, we're looking for agricultural solutions that have less impact on the environment. Now, the French hybrids that my grandfather brought over in the 1950s already solved this problem ahead of time. They take half the amount of fungicide, and that was the backbone of what built Bully Hill, the French-American hybrids. My dad firmly believed that a product is an extension of a person's soul, and we still adhere to that today at Bully Hill Vineyards. His memory and his vision is still seen around the Finger Lakes. Here at Bully Hill, we're excited about the future and sharing this experience with you. Bully for you.
I was actually a passenger on the bus. Sitting on the bus, I looked up and
Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the bottom of the second inning here. Nick Montagna back on the mound here to start the bottom of the second. Leading off this inning for the Niagara Power, it'll be number 41, Billy Morris. the second baseman. Montagna able to pitch his way out of a bases-loaded jam in the bottom of the first. Looking to go clean here again in the bottom of the second inning. Montagna now will set, deal. That one is in there. Called strike one. 0-1 the count now to Morris. No outs here in the bottom of the second. Montagna 0-1. Will now set, fire. That one is upstairs, called ball one. So 1-1 now goes the count to Morris as they will even up. No outs here in the bottom of the second. Montagna 1-1. Will now set, deal. That one is in there, called strike two. Morris has taken 3 pitches. 2 of them have been strikes. So 1-2 the count now to Morris. No outs here in the bottom of the second. Montagna still looking for his first strikeout of the night. Montagna 1-2. Will now set, deal, swung on a pop back foul. That is right field side and into the bleachers. And so the count will stay 1-2 to Morris. He will stay alive. No outs here in the bottom of the second. Montagna 1-2. Still looking for his first strikeout. Will set, deal. That is down low and outside. That one got by Charnetsky. That was bounced into him. So the count will now even up at 2-2 to Morris. Still no outs in the bottom of the second. Montagna can still pick up his first strikeout here. It'd be a big one to put 1 out on the board in the bottom of the second. Montagna now will set, deliver, swung on it, driven over into center. That'll be a base hit. A single up into center field will put a runner on first here for the Power, and Billy Morris. That was a leadoff single, and now that'll bring on 28, Jeremy Galinsky, the catcher. No outs here in the bottom of the second. Montagna, the double play is available for him if he can get Galinsky to ground out to short or to second. Bear is at second, Presto is at short. Montagna now will set, deal. That one is down low for ball one. 1-0 the count to Galinsky. No outs here in the bottom of the second. It looks like Kevin Serrano is warming up in the bullpen for the Pioneers. This is probably going to be a bullpen game for the Pioneers. Just a couple innings per pitcher. Montagna now sets, deals, swung on and driven foul right field side. And so the count will even up at 1-1 to Galinsky. Wind is still blowing left to right, so towards the right field side. And it's blowing hard as the American flag is flapping away there as the Montagna will check over. Like I said, the wind is probably going to be a major factor tonight in terms of how the ball plays in the air to the outfielders especially. So it's something to keep an eye on. Montagna 1-1 will set, deliver, swung on and driven back. Foul. And so the count will go 1-2 now to Galinsky. Montagna's still looking for his first strikeout. It'd be big to put an out on the board here and keep only 1 runner on for the Power. Montagna 1-2. Will now set, deal. That is upstairs for ball 2. And so the count will now even up to Galinsky, 2-2. Montagna can still pick up the first strikeout here on this 2-2 count. Montagna now will set, deliver, swung on it, driven over into left, and that'll be a base hit. That'll be a base hit single by Galinsky into the left field gap. And now that'll bring on number 17, Brett Johnson, the left fielder. No outs here in the bottom of the second, and 2 runners on for the Niagara Power. Johnson, the left fielder tonight. Montagna has gotten 1-2 counts in his last 2 at-bats and just simply hasn't been able to get the strikeouts. He needs to find a punch-out pinch here, or punch-out pitch is what I'm trying to say, in order to get some Ks up on the board, as he will fire one up there for ball 1 upstairs to Johnson. So 1-0 the count now. Still no outs here in the bottom of the second. Runners on first and second for the Power. Montagna 1-0 will set, deal. That is in there. Called strike 1. So 1-1 the count to Johnson. No outs here in the bottom of the second. Montagna double play is still available. He just has to get contact to presto. Montagna 1-1. Will now set, deal, swing, and a miss by Johnson, and the count will go 1-2 now. This is the third straight at bat for Montagna where he's at a 1-2 count. He needs to try and find a punch-out pitch in order to get the strikeout. Montagna 1-2. Well, now set, deliver. That one is in there. Cold strike 3. He struck him out. That is finally the first strikeout of the night for Nick Montagna, and that will put one out on the board here in the bottom of the second. That was a big K for Montagna. And now that I bring up number 16, Miles Pallister, the center fielder. Pallister will step up to the plate here with one out and runners on first and second for the Power. Montagna now leaning in. We'll look over to second. And now set, deliver, swung on a, popped up into right field. Schroeder's going to have to run in on it. And it'll be Bear who actually makes the play. And now he's going to have to throw to third. And Bear will throw to third. Musio will get the ball at third as he missed it originally. So that will be a pop out by Pallister to put two outs on the board here in the bottom of the second. But runners on the corners for the Power. As it was Galinsky who was kept at first, and Morris who was down there at third for the Power. And now we go back to the top of the lineup for the Power, and number 20, Zach Evans, the shortstop. He was walked in his first at-bat. Montagna now with two outs here in the bottom of the second will now set, deliver. That is in there. Cold strike one. A nice pitch there by Montagna. The count quickly goes 0-1. Montagna needs one out in order to get out of this inning cleanly. Montagna, to be honest, I've been very impressed with him to get out of not only one inning, but potentially a second inning here as Galinsky will slide in there to second and steal it. Count will go 1-1 to Evans. Two outs here in the bottom of the second. Montagna will now look over to second and Galinsky. Morris still at third at the bottom of your screen. Montagna 1-1 will set, deliver, swung on it, driven into, caught by Bear into right is what I was going to say. And that is a line out by Evans to end the bottom of the second inning. No runs for the Niagara Power. We go to the top of the third. Pioneers bats will look to break the deadlock right after this. Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the top of the third inning here. It is still a 0-0 ball game. Nick Montagna has done a fantastic job. I didn't know what to expect him coming into the night. He's been fantastic so far. He's gotten out of bases loaded and runners on second and third jams in consecutive innings to keep this at a 0-0 ball game. And so now the Pioneers in the top of the third looking to break the deadlock and give Montagna a lead to work with in the bottom of the third. Leading off, it'll be number 42, Spencer Aubin, the left fielder. Duddle now will set deliver. That is down low for ball one. So 1-0 the count to Aubin. Aubin is making his 16th start. He has a 200 batting average. As the Duddle now, 1-0, will set deal. That is upstairs for ball two. So 2-0 quickly goes the count to Aubin as he takes an early lead. No outs here in the top of the third. Duddle 2-0. Will now set, deliver, swung on a popped right field side. That is foul and out of play and goes over into the fencing area. And so the count will go 2-1. Duddle 2-1. Will now set, deliver. That is down low and outside. Or excuse me, that is called strike two. So 2-2 the count. Dugout doesn't like the call. I don't like the call. But the count will even up at 2-2 to Aubin. Duddle now. Will set, deal. That is upstairs and inside for ball three. So 3-2 the count out of Aubin. A leadoff walk would not be bad for the Pioneers here. They would certainly take it with no outs here in the top of the third. Duddle now, 3-2. Will set, deal. That is upstairs, ball four. That will be a leadoff walk for Spencer Aubin, who will now head over to first. And now that I'm bringing up number 24, Eric Charnetsky, the catcher tonight. Charnetsky making his 12th start, has a 192 batting average, 7 runs, 5 hits, 1 double, 1 RBI, 5 walks, 12 strikeouts, and 1 stolen base so far this season for Charnetsky. He'll step in here with a runner on first and no outs here in the top of the third. The top of the order, and Noss is up after Charnetsky. Duddle now will set, deliver. That is in there. Call strike one. 0-1 the count out of Charnetsky. No outs here in the top of the third. Aubin off of first for the Pioneers. Duddle now 0-1. Will now set, deal. Swung on a driven right field side. That is foul. Or excuse me, left field side. So the count will even up. Or excuse me, go 0-2 now to Charnetsky. 0-2 the count to Charnetsky. Now it's here in the top of the third. Aubin still off of first. Duddle looking for what would only be his second strikeout here on this 0-2 count to Charnetsky. Duddle now 0-2. Will set, deliver, swung on and jammed off of his bat. That one came off his bat and Charnetsky looked to be a little bit grimaced by it as he got jammed up inside. And so that one will be a ground out by Charnetsky. Not what he wanted, but it was forced as he got jammed up and came off the shaft of his bat. And so that will put one out here in the top of the third. But Aubin was able to go over to second. So now the Pioneers do have a runner in scoring position here with only one out here in the top of the third. As now the leadoff man, number 33, Kevin Noss, is back up at the plate, the center fielder. He flew out in his first at-bat. Duddle now will set, deliver. That is outside. Or actually in there. Call strike one. Dugout doesn't like the call again. I don't like it either. So 0-1 the count now to Noss. One out here in the top of the third. Duddle now will look over to Aubin. And now will set, deliver, swing and a miss by Noss. And the count quickly goes 0-2 now. 0-2 the count to Kevin Noss. One out here in the top of the third. Aubin off of second for the Pioneers. Duddle now 0-2. Will now set, deal. That is down low and outside for ball one. So 1-2 the count out of Noss. One out here still in the top of the third. Duddle 1-2. We'll look over to Aubin and now set, deliver. That is upstairs and outside for ball two. So 2-2 the count now as it evens up to Noss here. Still only one out in the top of the third. Noss looking to get on in any way possible as the big bats are coming up for the Pioneers. After him, it'll be Musier, Schroeder, and Cooper Smith. Duddle will now set, deliver, swung on, and driven right field side. That is foul and over the bleachers. So the count will stay 2-2 to Noss here. Still only one out in the top of the third. Aubin still over there at second for the Pioneers. Duddle now 2-2. We'll look over to Aubin. Sets, delivers. That is down low and inside for ball 3. So 3-2 the count now to Noss as it goes full here. Another walk would not be a bad thing for the Pioneers. They take it. That would put 2 runners on with only 1 out here in the top of the third. Noss looking to either get a base hit or draw a walk. 3-2. Duddle now looks over to Aubin. And now will set, deal, swung on a driven. That is going to be a base hit almost, maybe. Yes, that will be, as Noss will beat the throw out as the shortstop, Evans. It was tough to see whether he was actually going to field that or not. He did. He threw it to first and Brazier, but not in time. So that will be a single for Noss, as that will put runners on first and second here with only 1 out in the top of the third. And the credit to Evans, he had to go cross body in order to get that ball over to Brazier. And so now that'll bring up number 77, Joe Muzio, the third baseman, who grounded out in his first at-bat. Only 1 out here in the top of the third. Pioneers looking to break the deadlock. Duddle will look over to Aubin. Now set, deal, swing and a miss by Muzio, and the count will quickly go 0-1. 0-1 the count to Joe Muzio. 1 out here in the top of the third. Duddle now, 0-1. Well, now set, deliver, swung on it, popped into the left. That is going to be an out as Evans goes back and catches it in shallow left field. And so that will be a pop out to put 2 outs on the board here in the top of the third. And now that'll bring up number 10, John Schroeder, the right fielder who grounded out in his first at-bat. Schroeder looking to get a base hit here in order to drive in Aubin and break the deadlock. This has been a much tighter game than what I was expecting coming into it, considering the pitchers that were going to be on the mound with the Duddle and Montagna. Montagna's been fantastic, actually, and so has the Duddle so far. Credit to both of them as Schroeder swings in, chops one over to second, throws to first in time, and that will be the third out of the inning. So no runs here once again in the top of the third for the Pioneers. We go to the bottom of the third, where Nick Montagna will look to keep it clean again right after this. Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the bottom of the third inning here in a still scoreless 0-0 ball game, the opposite of what I was expecting. And Nick Montagna back on the mound here in the bottom of the third. So far, he's gotten himself out of a bases loaded jam and a runners on second and third jam in order to keep this game scoreless. He will look to maybe go for a less stressful, clean inning by just simply going 1-2-3 here in this inning in the bottom of the third. Leading off this inning for the Niagara Power, it will be number 13, Andrew Fairbrother, the extra hitter tonight. He was walked in his first at-bat. Montagna shakes off one pitch. And now we'll set, deliver. That is upstairs, ball 1. So 1-0 the count to Fairbrother. No outs here in the bottom of the third. Montagna shakes off another pitch. And now we'll set, fire, swung on it, driven weakly over to Muzio at third. Muzio will field it, throw to first in time, and that will be one away. A ground out there by Fairbrother will put one out here in the bottom of the third. A very nice start to the inning by Montagna. And now that'll bring him number 44, Jackson Strong, the right fielder. He grounded out in his first at-bat. Montagna has been very, very impressive so far in this game. I did not honestly expect him to go this long without giving up a run. It's been honestly very impressive to watch. As that one is swung on, driven down the right field line. That is going to be fair. And that is going to be... And no, it's going to be foul, as Strong is going to have to come back here, I think. We're going to have to see what they rule. Strong stopped at second. And, oh, actually, what happened was the baseball got lost in the bullpen. And so, yes, so Christian Zealy, you can see the baseball now coming across the screen, is having to throw it back over towards the dugout. So that'll just be a stand-up double for Strong, who that one flew into the bullpen. It landed fair and then rolled into a gap into the bullpen. And so that's why Jackson Strong stopped, or otherwise that would have been an infield home run. And now that'll bring on number 2, Vincent Morrow, the third baseman, who was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat. That one is just down low for ball 1. So 1-0 the count to Morrow. One out here in the bottom of the third. Strong at second. Montagna 1-0. Looks over to Strong. And now we'll set, deliver. Strong is going to try and steal third. And he will steal third as that one gets away from Muzio. And now Strong is going to go to home. So he will score. And the Niagara Power have a 1-0 lead. As Joe Muzio missed it at third. And so now the Power take the lead here in this one. That's not necessarily on Montagna. The throw was actually pretty good by Charnetsky, but Muzio just simply couldn't field it. And so the count will go 2-0 to Vincent Morrow. One out here in the bottom of the third. It is now a 1-0 Niagara Power lead. Montagna will set, deal, swung on a pop straight up in the air. Charnetsky is not going to be able to go for it, actually, as that one went right field side fouling over the bleachers. So the count will now even up at 2-1 to Morrow. One out here in the bottom of the third. No runners on for the Power, as Strong was able to go home. Montagna 2-1. Will now set, deliver. That one is just outside ball 3. So 3-1 the count now to Morrow. Montagna looking to get back in the count here with a strike, trying not to give up another walk. It would only be his third walk of the night. Montagna sets, deals. That one is driven into left. Aubin will come under, and he will make the play in left. And so that will put 2 outs on the board here in the bottom of the third on that fly out. And so now Montagna just looking for one more out in order to end the inning and keep the damage at 1 run. And so now that'll bring on number 30, Andrew Stillinger, the designated hitter. He popped out in his first at-bat. Montagna now will set, deliver. That is down low in the dirt for ball 1. So 1-0 the count to Stillinger. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Montagna 1-0 will set, deliver. That one is just upstairs for ball 2. So 2-0 the count to Stillinger. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Montagna now will set, deliver, swung on it, driven into center. Noss is going to go back for it, and he will make the play in center, and that will end the bottom of the third inning. The Power do get a run off of an error But it's only 1-0 here in the bottom of the third. We go to the top of the fourth, where the Pioneers will look to answer right after this. Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the top of the fourth inning here. Pioneers looking to answer back after the Power got a run in the bottom of the third to make it a 1-0 ball game here. Leading off this inning for the Pioneers, it will be number 8, Cooper Smith, the extra hitter, who flew out in his first at-bat. It is still Brian Duddle, on the mound for the Power. Duddle now will set, deliver. That is in there, called strike one. So 0-1 the count now to Smith. No outs here in the top of the fourth. Duddle now, 0-1. Will set, deal, swung on a broken bat over to second and shattered in Cooper Smith's hands, and that'll be safe. Cooper Smith is safe as Brazier missed it. That'll be a reach by error for sure. But Cooper Smith, on one of the wackier places, his bat absolutely shattered into a million pieces in his hands. And then Cal Brazier missed the throw by the shortstop Evans. And so Smith will be on first off of an error for the Pioneers here to lead off the top of the fourth in one of the wackier sequences there. And so now that'll bring on number 44, Chris Baer, the second baseman, who struck out in his first at-bat. Baer looking to get a base hit here in order to advance Cooper Smith. Duddle will look over to Smith. And now will set, deliver, swung on a driven right field side. That is foul. And so the count will go 0-1. 0-1 the count here to Baer. No outs in the top of the fourth. Duddle now. Will now set, deal. Cooper Smith is going to try and steal second. And he will steal second as the throw was off by Galinsky. And that was a ball one. So 1-1 the count to Baer as it evens up. And Cooper Smith able to steal second there. So Smith now runner in scoring position for the Pioneers. Cooper Smith also represents the tying run for the Pioneers as they're trying to tie this ball game up right here, right now in the top of the fourth. A Duddle 1-1 to Baer. We'll now look over to Cooper Smith and now will set, deliver, swung on a driven, and that'll be a base hit to the right. Cooper Smith is going to come around and score off of an RBI single by Chris Baer. We have a tied ball game. And Cooper Smith has scored. It is now 1-1 here in Niagara. The Pioneers immediately answered back just like they needed to here in the top of the fourth. Still no outs here in the top of the fourth. Pioneers still looking for more. Baer will be on first. As now that'll bring up number 14, Jake Keller. The first baseman who singled in his first at-bat. Keller 1 for 1, trying to go 2 for 2 here now. A Duddle Well, now set, deliver. That is down low for ball 1. So 1-0 the count to Keller. No outs here, still in the top of the 4th. Bear will take his lead off first. O'Donnell 1-0. Well, now set, fire, swung on a pop, foul, right field side. And so that will be out of play. And so the count will now even up 1-1 to Keller. No outs here in the top of the 4th. O'Donnell looks over to Chris Bear on first. 1-1. And then we'll set, deal, swung on and driven back. That is foul. So the count will go 1-2 now. That one came off the top of Keller's bat. 1-2 the count to Keller. Duddle's still looking for only what would be his 3rd strikeout of the night. Bear still over there at first. No outs here in the top of the 4th, so if Keller can get on, that'd be big to give the Pioneers as many opportunities as possible. Duddle now, 1-2, will now set, deal, swung on a driven into center. Right center, that might get down. It will not get down as the center fielder will grab it on a sliding play. What an effort. And now that was Pallister over there in center who made that incredible play to put 1 out on the board here in the top of the 4th and keep this a 1-1 ball game. That one would have probably been a stand-up double for Keller, and Bear might have been able to get around in time. And so now that'll bring up number 47, Ray Hernandez, the designated hitter, who singled in his first at-bat. Hernandez looking to go 2 for 2 here. Hernandez also always with home run power. I don't think he'll get one here tonight, as the wind will probably keep him away from it, as that takes strike 1. So 0-1 the count to Hernandez. 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Bear still over there at first for the Pioneers. Duddle 0-1. Well, now set, deliver, swung on a pop to left field side. That is going over my head. Foul. And so the count will go 0-2. And you can hear all the little kids that came out for the Power with their starting lineups run to try and get that foul ball that is in the bleachers to my left. The count will go 0-2 to Ray Hernandez. 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Bear off of first. O'Donnell now. Bear's going to try and steal second. That one is in there. Inside ball 1. And Bear is out at second. Wow. Evans just he reached around behind him and just able to get the tag. And so the count will go 1-2 to Ray Hernandez. But that is 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Off of that tag out on second base of Bear. What a tag by Evans. I didn't think he got it. 1-2 the count to Hernandez. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. O'Donnell will set, deal, swung on a driven right field side. That is foul and out of play. So the count will stay 1-2. 1-2 the count to Ray Hernandez. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. O'Donnell now. Looking for the strikeout. Will set, deliver. That is just outside, for ball 2. 2-2 the count now as it evens up to Hernandez. Still 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. So deuces wild the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. O'Donnell shakes off 2 pitches. And now we'll set, deliver. That is upstairs for ball 3. So full count now to Hernandez, 3-2. Hernandez trying to draw a walk here to keep the inning going for the Pioneers. It would be number 2, Dom Presto, up after him, who's on deck. O'Donnell now, 3-2. Well, now set, deal. That one is upstairs for ball 4, so that will be a walk for Ray Hernandez. And now that'll bring up Dom Presto, number 2, the shortstop tonight, who struck out in his first at-bat with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Obviously, the Pioneers looking to get a lead here in this top of the 4th inning. It would be big to give Montagna a little bit of room to work with. However, the Pioneers have already tied up the ball game in this half inning. Hernandez off first. O'Donnell now sets, delivers. That one is just inside for ball 1. So 1-0 the count to Presto. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Hernandez off of first as he takes his lead. It's a pretty big one. Duddle looks over to Hernandez. 1-0. And now we'll set, deal. Hernandez hesitated as if he was going to steal. That is ball 2 upstairs to Presto, so 2-0 the count. Hernandez did not attempt. He will go back over to first. 2-0 the count now to Presto. 2 outs here at the top of the fourth. A Duddle now will set, deliver. That is going to be called strike 1, and Presto leaned down to try and get a bunt. He squared for it, but missed it. And it looked like a ball down when the umpire calls it strike 1. So 2-1 the count now to Presto. 2 outs here at the top of the fourth. Hernandez still off of first. I believe he has 1 stolen base the entire season, Hernandez does, so I don't think he's going to try and steal one here. Hernandez hesitated again, and that is a swing and a miss by Presto. So 2-2 the count to Presto, as the count will go deuces wild again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. Hernandez will once again take his lead off first. Hernandez, I think, just hesitating over there at first just to try and throw off the infield a little bit. Duddle will look over to Hernandez. 2-2. And now we'll set, deliver. That is upstairs and outside, ball 3. So full count here to Presto now. After a Duddle gave up a walk to Hernandez with 2 outs here in the top of the fourth, trying to avoid giving up a walk to Presto to put 2 runners on with still 2 outs. A Duddle will look over to Hernandez. 3-2. And now we'll set, deliver, swung on and driven left field side. That is foul as the head coach, Andrew Drum, catches that one. And so the count will stay 3-2. Another big pitch here coming up for a Duddle as he's trying to avoid giving up a walk here. Back-to-back walks it would be for a Duddle. Trying to avoid giving that up. It would be number 42, Spencer Aubin, up after him on deck. 3-2, Duddle deals that, a swung on a driven straight to the shortstop, Evans, who will go to first in time as Brazier catches that one. And that will be a ground out by Presto to end the top of the fourth inning. The Pioneers, however, do not come up empty. They tie the ball game. It is now 1-1 as we go to the bottom of the fifth right after this.
Effective care. At Arnett, we're nurses, doctors, and teams of other caregivers inspired by healing. We know your physical, emotional, and spiritual health are each part of the whole of you. To continue a tradition of medicine driven by compassion, teaching, and healing. That's why we're here. It's who we are. It's what we do.
What if white wine was not made for poultry, but for friendship? What if red wine set aside the steak and made room for love? What if we've been drinking wine wrong all along, and instead wine was to be shared as a human experience with love, integrity, and hope? Hi, my name is Greg Taylor. I'm the vineyard manager and property manager of Bully Hill Vineyards, and I'm a 4th generation winemaker and 5th generation grape grower of my family. So it all started with my great-great-grandfather George and his son Walter Taylor Sr. They came up to this region for the promise of a better life due to the rising wine industry on Keuka Lake. Walter Taylor was the one who first started the Taylor Wine Company. The Taylor Wine Company was one of the largest wineries in the United States. My great-grandfather had passed away, and my grandfather Grayton and his 2 brothers Fred and Clarence took over the company at its peak, producing around 40 million gallons of wine a year. Grayton had a son, Walter, who was my father.
Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the bottom of the fourth inning here in a tied 1-1 ball game between the Power and the Pioneers. It is still Nick Montagna out there on the mound for the Pioneers. So far, he's gone 3 innings pitched, only giving up 1 earned run, or not even 1 earned run, 1 run in general on 3 hits. And so he's been very impressive so far, making his first start of the season as an actual pitcher. He's made a lot of starts as an infielder. As a position player pitcher, he's done really well tonight. Looking to keep it going here in this bottom of the fourth, as leading off this inning for the Power, it will be number 9, Cal Brazier, the first baseman, who grounded out in his first at-bat. Montagna now will set, deliver. That one is just upstairs for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Brazier. No outs here in the bottom of the fourth. Montagna 1-0. Will shake off one pitch. And now will nod and come set. will deliver. That one is in there. Called strike one. So 1-1 the count now to Brazier as it evens up. No outs here in the bottom of the fourth. Montagna 1-1. Will set, fire, swung on it, popped up, right field side. Keller cannot go for that one as that one is off into the fenced off area beyond right field. And so the count will go 1-2 now to Brazier. Montagna looking for what would be his second strikeout of the night here in order to put one out on the board in the bottom of the fourth. Montagna now 1-2 will shake off two pitches and that will come set. He will set, deliver, swung on a driven into left center. That is going to get down. That is going to be almost a homer. It goes over the field, or excuse me, it goes over the fence, so that'll just be a stand-up double for Brazier. He crushed that baseball into left center, and that one bounced on one hop up and over the fence in the outfield, so that will just be a stand-up double for Brazier. No outs here in the bottom of the fourth, and now that I'm bringing number 41, Billy Morris, the second baseman, who singled in his first at-bat. Montagna now leans into Morris. Looks over to Brazier off the second. Will now set, deliver. That one is in there. Cold strike one. So 0-1 the count now to Morris. No outs here in the bottom of the fourth. Brazier off his second for the power. Doesn't look like anybody's currently warming in the bullpen for the Pioneers. There are a couple pitchers over there. I recognize Zach Nelson, and I know Kevin Serrano was also over there. Montagna will set deal. That one is down low for ball one. So 1-1 the count to Morris. No outs here in the bottom of the fourth. Montagna will lean in again. Now looks over to Brazier off second. Now sets, delivers. That one is outside for ball two. So 2-1 the count now to Morris as he will take the lead in the count. Still no outs here in the bottom of the fourth. Brazier over there at second. Bear potentially threatening for a throw-out attempt. And he'll step in here a little bit. Montagna will set deal. That one is in there. Called strike two right down Broadway. And the count will now even up 2-2 to Morris. Montagna still looking for a second strikeout here in order to put an out on the board in the bottom of the fourth. Montagna leans in. This is a big opportunity for Montagna. He's only had one strikeout so far. Going for his second. Will now set deal. Swung on a driven. Weakly over to Presto at short. Presto will field it. Throw to Keller at first in time. And that will be one away. A ground out by Morris will put one out on the board here in the bottom of the fourth. A very nice play by Keller. Had to lean down low and stretch out in order to pick that baseball. One out here in the bottom of the fourth. And now that I'm bringing on number 28, Jeremy Galinsky, the catcher, who singled in his first at-bat. Galinsky, another one of the more powerful bats for the Power, so Montagna does have to be a little bit careful here. Brazier was the other more powerful bat for the Power, and he got a double. Montagna will set deal. That one is outside, ball one. 1-0 the count to Galinsky. One out here in the bottom of the fourth. Brazier is still at second. Presto all the way back into the infield grass. And now he'll step back on. And now that one is popped up. Keller going for it and right. He will run out of room as that one was just over the right field fence. And so the count will now even up at 1-1. So aces wild the count here to Galinsky. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. A great effort there by Keller. He just simply ran out of room. Ran up against that black fence over there in the far edge of your screens. Galinsky now will step back in. Montagna leans in again. Montagna now 1-1 will set, deliver. That one is in there. Called strike two. So 1-2 the count now to Montagna. One out here in the bottom of the fourth. Montagna can pick up his second strikeout here and put 2 outs on the board in the bottom of the fourth, and that would be massive to make it only 1 out away from ending the inning for Montagna. Montagna now 1-2 will set, deliver. That is swung on its skied into center. Nas going back for it. He will make the play in center. And now throw quickly as Brazier is going to advance to third. And he will advance to third. Musio, he will be held up at third as the baseball is lost into the power dugout. So Brazier is at third. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. On that sky out by Galinsky. And so now that'll bring on number 17, Brett Johnson, the left fielder, who struck out in his first at-bat. Still the only strikeout of the night for Montagna. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Runner at third and Brazier. You can see him at the bottom of your screen. Montagna looking for 1 more out in order to get himself out of this inning. Montagna now will set, deliver, swung on a driven. That is left field side down the line. It hopped foul, so the count will go 0-1. 0-1 the count to Johnson. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Montagna now will take his time and step back onto the mound here. Brazier taking his lead off third, as you can see him at the bottom of your screen, number 9. Montagna 0-1. Will now set, deliver. That one is in there. Called strike 2. 0-2 the count out of Johnson. Montagna looking to pick up his second strikeout, and it would be the second strikeout of the night against Johnson. Johnson has the only strikeout of the night for Montagna. Looking to pick up his second here to end the bottom of the 4th. Montagna 0-2. Will now set, deliver. That one is just down low and outside for ball 1. So 1-2 the count to Johnson, which was the same count that he struck out on against Montagna in his first at-bat. Montagna looking to do the same thing here on this pitch. 1-2. Montagna will set, fire, swung on it, driven into right. Schroeder will come under to make the play, and that will end the bottom of the 4th inning. No runs for the Power in the bottom of the 4th. We go to the top of the 5th. It is still tied 1-1. Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the top of the 5th inning here. Pioneers and Power still deadlocked at 1 run apiece. And so now the Pioneers in the top of the 5th looking to break that deadlock and get a lead for the first time tonight. Leading off this inning for the Pioneers, it will be number 42, Spencer Aubin, the left fielder, who was walked in his first at-bat. Aduddle will set deal. That one is in there. Called strike 1. And yes, Brian Aduddle is still on the mound for the Niagara Power. 0-1 the count to Aubin. No outs here in the top of the 5th. Aduddle 0-1. Will now set, deliver, swing, and a miss by Aubin. The count quickly goes 0-2. 0-2 the count to Aubin. No outs here in the top of the 5th. Aduddle looking for his 3rd strikeout of the night here. Duddle 0-2. Will now set, deal, swung on a driven. That is a base hit in the left. And that will be a leadoff single here for Spencer Aubin in the top of the fifth. That is a great start to the inning for the Pioneers, who are looking to get a lead in this top of the fifth. And so now that I'm bringing up number 24, Eric Charnetsky, the catcher, who grounded out in his first at-bat. Duddle will now step back on as Charnetsky will step into the batter's box here. No outs here in the top of the fifth. Aubin off at first. Duddle now will set, deliver, swing and a miss by Charnetsky, and the count goes 0-1. Aubin is the only run of the night so far. He was the one who came around and scored. Or no, he wasn't actually. It was Cooper Smith. Never mind. Aubin gone on for the first time in his first at-bat, and I forgot that he got thrown out. Or not thrown out. The inning ended when he was on second. Swung on a driven into right. That might get down. It will get down. That is a base hit by Eric Charnetsky. A single. And that will put runners on first and second with no outs here in the top of the fifth. The Pioneers are hot right now, looking to try and get a lead for the first time tonight in this ball game. And now Galinsky wants to have a word with a Duddle. There's no action in the power bullpen. So a Duddle is out there for the long run. And like I said before, early on in the stream, both of these teams are starved for pitching. They have barely any arms left. So a Duddle is probably going to have to go at least through this half inning in order for someone else to come in and relieve him. And so mound meeting over. And now it'll be Kevin Noss, number 33, the center fielder, stepping up to the plate here. Flew out in his first at-bat, singled in his second at-bat. Runners on first and second with no outs here in the top of the fifth. This is a prime opportunity for the Pioneers to get a lead. Noss now will step in. Duddle now will look over to Aubin on second. And now set, deliver. That is going to be a bunt laid down by Noss. That is foul. And so everyone's going to have to come back, as Noss fouled a bunt on the third base line. And so the count will go 0-1. Infield was pretty ready for that. They're almost all the way in on the infield grass here, especially the first baseman, Brazier, and the third baseman, who's Morrow. 0-1 the count to Noss. No outs here in the top of the fifth. Aubin on second, Charnetsky on first. Duddle looks over to Aubin. And now will set, deliver. That is another bunt laid down. That is once again foul by Noss as he fouled it straight back behind him on one bounce. So the count will quickly go 0-2 now to Noss. Duddle's still looking for his third strikeout here, and that would put one out on the board in the top of the fifth. But also that would bring up number 77, Joe Muzio. It's going to be the heart of the order up after Noss in Muzio, Schroeder, and then Cooper Smith. As everyone is now reset, Duddle 0-2. Well, now set, fire. That one is in there. Call strike three on a late strikeout call by the umpire. Noss will go down swinging that, or go down looking, excuse me. That is the third strikeout of the night for Brian Duddle, and that will put one out here in the top of the fifth. So now that I'll bring up number 77, Joe Muzio, the third baseman. Grounded out in his first at-bat, popped out in his second at-bat. Muzio, one of the best bats for the Pioneers. He's been a little cold tonight, but can certainly turn it on at any moment. Runners on first and second, only one out here in the top of the fifth for the Pioneers. A Duddle will set, deal. That one is in there, called strike one. 1-1 the count to Muzio, one out here in the top of the fifth. Duddle now 0-1. We'll look over to Aubin. Now sets, delivers, swung on and popped back. That is foul. And as Schroeder catches it over by the dugout. So the count will quickly go 0-2 now to Muzio. Duddle can pick up back-to-back strikeouts here on this 0-2 count to Muzio to put two outs on the board in the top of the fifth. Like I said, it'll be Schroeder and then Smith up after Muzio. The heart of the order. Duddle 0-2. Well, now set, deliver, swung on, and pop back. That is foul. Straight behind home plate, and so the count will stay 0-2 to Muzio. Muzio, as all of the Pioneers bats really do a great job of, they all do a great job of fouling off pitches and staying alive. Muzio doing a good job of that here. 0-2 still. Duddle will look over to Aubin off of second. And now we'll set, fire. That is upstairs for ball one. Good take there by Muzio, and the count will go 1-2. 1-2 the count to Muzio. One out here in the top of the fifth. Duddle still looking for that fourth strikeout. Duddle now will set, deliver. That is down low and in outside for ball two. So 2-2 the count now to Muzio as the count will even up. One out here in the top of the fifth. Duddle looks over to Aubin off of second. Chernetsky is off of first for the Pioneers. And they are going to say time is granted for Muzio as he'll step out. I thought the umpire almost said balk, but he didn't. So still 2-2 to Muzio as he has stepped back in here now. Duddle looks over to Aubin again. And now we'll set, deliver, swing and a miss by Muzio. He goes down swinging, and that is back-to-back strikeouts for Brian Duddle to put two outs here on the board in the top of the fifth. And so now that'll bring up number 10, John Schroeder, the right fielder. He's grounded out twice in his first two at-bats, but he is the #1 bat on the Pioneers roster. Well, actually the #2 bat, I should say, in terms of batting average. Bear is actually statistically the best batting average at 353. Schroeder is close behind at 337. Duddle now set, deliver. That one is in there just outside ball one, actually. I thought that was going to be called strike one. 1-0 the count to Schroeder. Two outs here in the top of the fifth. Runner still on first and second for the Pioneers. Trying to get a lead here in this ball game for the first time tonight. Duddle 1-0. Well, now set, fire, swung on and popped back. That is foul and out of play. So the count will now even up to Schroeder at 1-1. Still two outs here in the top of the fifth. Duddle now 1-1. Looks over to Aubin. And now we'll set. Deal, that is down low and outside for ball two. So 2-1 the count to Schroeder. Two outs here in the top of the fifth. Chernetsky clapping for Schroeder over there at first. 2-1 the count. Duddle looks over to Aubin. And now we'll set, deliver, swung on and popped way back up and over everything. And so that will even up the count at deuces wild here to Schroeder. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the fifth. Schroeder still looking to get on base for the first time tonight. He's been very, very hot as of late, looking to continue his streak. Duddle 2-2. Well, now set, deal. That is down low and outside ball 3. So 3-2 the count out of Schroeder as it goes full. If Schroeder is walked here, that would load the bases for number 8 Cooper Smith, the extra hitter. So this is a massive pitch here coming up for a Duddle. If he strikes Schroeder out, that ends the top of the 5th inning. If he walks him, that'll load the bases for Smith. A Duddle now, 3-2. Will now set, deliver, swung on a driven into right center. Strong going back for it. He should have this. He does have this on a flyout, so that will end the top of the 5th inning. Unfortunately, the Pioneers strain 2 runners on and come up empty in the top of the 5th. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It is still tied, however, at 1-1. Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the bottom of the 5th inning here. It is still tied between the Niagara Power and the Elmira Pioneers. 1-1 the score. Nick Montagna back out there on the mound for the Pioneers here in the bottom of the 5th. He has been fantastic so far. Only given up 1 run on 4 hits with 1 error so far for the Pioneers. And now, leading off here for the Niagara Power, it'll be number 16, Miles Pallister, the center fielder, who popped out in his first at-bat. Montagna now will set, deliver. That is upstairs, ball 1. So 1-0 the count to Pallister. No outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Montagna 1-0 will set, deliver, swung on it, driven weakly over to Muzio at third. Muzio will field it, throw to first in time, and that will be 1 away. A ground out by Pallister will put 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. And now we go back to the top of the order here for the Niagara Power. Number 20, Zach Evans, the shortstop tonight. He was walked in his first at-bat, lined out in his second at-bat. And just to give a little update on the Batavia-Newark game, which is the other game that the Pioneers are keeping their eyes on, as if the Pioneers were to lose and Batavia were to win, they would jump the Pioneers for the number 1 spot in the West Division standings. It is currently still 0-0 in the top of the 4th inning of that game, as Montagna will set deal. That is way outside, and Evans just kind of sheltered and braced for impact there, as he just sort of froze up in the batter's box. So 1-0 the count now to Evans. 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Montagna now, 1-0. Will set, deliver. That is upstairs, ball 2. So 2-0 the count to Evans. 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Montagna 2-0 will set, deal, swung on a pop straight up. And Chernetsky's not going to be able to get to that, as that is over the bleachers. So the count will go 2-1 now to Evans. Still 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Montagna, if he can get Evans to get out in any way, that would be massive to put 2 outs on the board with no base runners on. Montagna 2-1, still has some work to do. Will now set, deliver, swung on it, driven into left, and Aubin will catch it, and that will be the second out of the inning here. 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. Now with no base runners on for the Power, this is perhaps the best inning so far for Montagna, as he has a chance to go 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the 5th. And so now that will bring up number 13, Andrew Fairbrother, the extra hitter, who was walked in his first at-bat, grounded out in his second at-bat. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. There is a pitcher warming in the bullpen for the Power, and there is one warming in the bullpen for the Pioneers. It's McGovern, number 71, who's warming in the bullpen for the Pioneers. However, Montagna doesn't look like he needs it, as he deals for strike 1 to Fairbrother. So 0-1 the count now. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Montagna 0-1. Will now set, deliver. That is in there. Cold strike 2. 0-2 the count now to Fairbrother. Montagna looking for his second strikeout here to end the bottom of the 5th inning. It'd be Montagna's first 1-2-3 inning of the night. Montagna 0-2. Looking for the strikeout. Will shake off one pitch. And now will set, deliver, swung on it, driven weakly over to Presto. Presto will field it. Throw to first is not in time. Keller missed it. And that will be reached by Aaron. He will go all the way to second. So Fairbrother will go to second on a reach by error. And that is devastating for Montagna, as he should have had a 1-2-3 inning there. But now that will bring up number 44, Jackson Strong, the right fielder who grounded out in his first at-bat, doubled in his second at-bat. Still 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th, so still any out ends the inning for Montagna. Montagna, I've been so impressed with him so far. He's done so well as a position pitcher for the Pioneers here. He's making this start where really the Pioneers have no arms left to really get a start. And so Montagna took the start and has been doing a great job tonight. Montagna will set, deal. That is down low for ball 1. to Strong. So 1-0 the count now. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Montagna will lean into Strong. Montagna will look over to second and out. Swing and a miss by Strong, and so the count will go 1-1 now as it evens up. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. It is still Fairbrother over there at second for the Power. Montagna now, 1-1. Looks over to Fairbrother, and now sets, delivers. That is upstairs and inside for ball 2. So 2-1 the count to Strong as he takes the lead. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Any out ends it for Montagna. He's looking to end this bottom of the 5th without giving up a run and without giving up the lead. Montagna will look to second and now set, delivers, swung on a driven into right. Schroeder's going back. He will make the play in right, and that will end the bottom of the 5th inning. No runs for the Power as they strand a runner on second here in the bottom of the 5th. And hold on here a minute. They are going to continue the inning. I'm not sure what happened as Schroeder caught it, but Strong has been walked to first by the umpire. I'm not sure for what. Schroeder's coming all the way in. He doesn't know what this is about, I don't even think. And so that will keep it at 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. And Montagna looks like he's still going to have to get one more as somehow Strong got to first. Because Schroeder caught the baseball. And so now that'll bring on number 2, Vincent Morrow, the third baseman. He was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat and then flew out in his second at-bat. Montagna, who looked like the inning was going to be over for him, now has to do one more out of work. Montagna will now set, deliver, swung on a driven weakly to into center. That is going to be a base hit, and that will score Fairbrother. That call is going to come back to bite the Pioneers, as now it is 2-1 Power off of an RBI single. So that call changes everything now, as Morrow RBI singles to get the Power their lead. Wow. That call to not end the inning and to walk Strong changed the game right there, folks. As that led to Morrow RBI singling to score the go-ahead run. And so now that'll bring up number 30, Andrew Stillinger, the designated hitter. We're still 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Who popped out in his first at-bat, flew out in his second at-bat. Montagna now will set, deliver, swung on a weakly driven over to short, and presto, who cannot make a play. He cut it off, though, so Strong could not go home. But that will be a single for Stillinger. So that will load the bases here for the Power with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. And this inning should have been over. And now, bases loaded with still 2 outs. So Montagna, I think, got a little bit screwed over there by the umpires. And so now that'll bring up number 9, Cal Brazier, the first baseman. Grounded out in his first at-bat, doubled in his second at-bat. Montagna needs to get 1 out in order to end the inning. Montagna will set, deliver. That one is in there, called strike 1. 1-1 the count now to Brazier. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Montagna 0-1. Will now set, deliver, swing and a miss by Brazier, and the count quickly goes 0-2. Montagna still looking for a second strikeout here to end the bottom of the 5th and to keep this a 2-1 ball game. Montagna now 0-2. Will set, deliver. That one is down low for ball 1. Brazier hesitated as if he was going to take a swing at that, but he didn't. So 1-2 the count now to Brazier. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Strong way off of third. Montagna 1-2 will set, deal, swung on it, popped over to Bear at second. He will tag up, and they're going to call him safe. Are you kidding me? Presto cleanly had that on the base. That is a terrible call, and that will score another run for the Power and keep the inning going. Montagna is getting screwed over by the umpires. He really is. That is 2 atrocious calls. And so now that'll bring up number 41, Billy Morris. This inning should have been over in a tied ball game. Instead, Power get 2 runs. Presto cleanly had his foot on the bag and caught that in time. Montagna will set deal. That is down low for ball 1. 1-0 count to Morris. Still 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. It is now 3-1 Power. So the bats are going to have to come back to life here in the top of the 6th. Montagna will set, deliver. That is in there. Called strike 1. 1-1 the count now to Morris. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Serrano beginning to warm in the bullpen for the Pioneers. Montagna 1-1 will set, deliver. That one is in there. Called strike 2. 1-2 the count out of Morris. Montagna looking for his second strikeout of the night here to finally end the bottom of the 5th, which should have been over twice now. Montagna 1-2. Will now set, deliver, swung on it, popped up. That is right field side and out of play. So the count will stay 1-2 to Morris. 2 outs here, still in the bottom of the 5th. Montagna 1-2. Will now set, deliver. That one is down low and outside for ball 2. So the count will now even up to Morris. 2-2 here. So Deuces Wild reads the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Montagna still looking for his second strikeout. Montagna 2-2 will set, deliver, swung on a driven into left. I've been going back for it. This should finally end the bottom of the 5th. It will. As long as the umpires don't call off. They don't this time, thank goodness. As the Power got 2 cheap runs there in the bottom of the 5th to make it a 3-1 ball game. We go to the top of the 6th. Pioneers will have to answer. Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the top of the 6th inning here. Pioneers currently down to the Power 3-1 in this one after a 2-run bottom of the 5th, which shouldn't have been. And so now there'll be a new pitcher on the mound here for the Power, and number 5, Vinny Tsunami. Leading off this inning for the Pioneers, it'll be number 8, Cooper Smith, the extra hitter, who flew out in his first at-bat, reached Pioneer in his second at-bat. Pioneers getting some bad calls there from the officials, allowing 2 more Power runs to score in the bottom of the 5th. Montagna should have been out of that with no runs given up. Instead, he got 2. And so now Pioneers bats have a lot more work to do in order to try and get back into this one. Smith will be leading off, trying to get on quickly to give the Pioneers some base runners to work with. I will say the bottom of the Pioneers order has actually been really hot tonight. It's been the main part of the order that's been doing damage. It's actually not been the top of the order that's been doing a lot of it. Muzio and Schroeder, 2 of the best bats for the Pioneers, have actually been silent tonight. 0-3 so far for both of them. Smith will be stepping in. Reached in his second at-bat off of an error. Tsunami will set deal. That is outside for ball 1. So 1-0 count to Cooper Smith. No outs here in the top of the 6th. Tsunami 1-0 will set, deliver, swung on it, popped up. That is right field side over the bleachers and foul. So the count will even up 1-1 now to Cooper Smith. No outs here in the top of the 6th. Tsunami now 1-1 will set, deliver. That is upstairs and outside for ball 2. 2-1 the count now to Cooper Smith as he will take the lead in the count. No outs here in the top of the 6th. Smith trying to get on. Tsunami will set deal. That is outside ball 3. 3-1 the count now to Smith. A leadoff walk would not be bad here for the Pioneers. They need base runners as they're down 2 runs. And with the bottom of their order coming up, which has been the hotter part of their order tonight, they would take a leadoff walk. That is going to be a leadoff walk as that is ball 4 outside from Tsunami. So now Cooper Smith will trot over there to first. And now that'll bring him number 44, Chris Bear, the second baseman tonight, who struck out in his first at-bat and then RBI singled in his second at-bat. No outs here in the top of the 6th, and Pioneers down 2 runs. They need base hits or walks here in these next couple at-bats. Tsunami now will set, deliver, swing and a miss by Bear, and the count goes 0-1. 0-1 the count to Bear. No outs here in the top of the 6th. Cooper Smith still over there at first for the Pioneers. Tsunami 0-1 will set, deliver, swing and a miss again by Bear. 2 of the exact same pitches, fastball up in the zone, and Bear has swung and missed at both of them. 0-2 the count now to Bear. No outs here in the top of the 6th. Tsunami will set deal. That is outside ball 1. So 1-0 the count, or excuse me, 1-2 the count to Bear. No outs here in the top of the 6th. It'd be big if Bear can find a way to get on here. Tsunami 1-2 will set, deliver, swing and a miss by Bear. He reached it. That was a ball outside. And so he will go down swinging for the second time tonight. And that will put 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. And so now that'll bring on number 14, Jake Keller, the first baseman, who singled in his first at-bat, then flew out in his second at-bat. Cooper Smith still over there at first for the Pioneers. Tsunami now will set, deliver. That is inside. Keller had to step out of the way of that, and the count will go 1-0. 1-0 the count to Keller. 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. Cooper Smith will take his lead off first. Tsunami 1-0 will set, deliver. That is upstairs and outside ball 2. So 2-0 the count to Keller. A walk from Keller would not be bad. Pioneers would take that. It's going to be Hernandez and Presto up after Keller. Tsunami will look over to Cooper Smith and then will set, deliver. That is going to be in there. Called strike 1 up in the zone. So the count now will go 2-1 to Keller. 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Tsunami now will set, deliver. That is outside for ball 3. So 3-1 the count now to Keller. Keller 1 ball away from drawing a walk. Pioneers would certainly take it with only 1 out here on the top of the 6th. Tsunami now 3-1. Will now set, deliver, swing, and a miss by Keller, and the count quickly goes 3-2 now. So full count here to Keller. This is a big pitch by Tsunami. Keller looking to get a base hit or draw a walk in order to get on base. 1 out here in the top of the 6th. That's where the Pioneers would like to keep it. Tsunami 3-2 will set, deliver, swung on it, popped up. Right field side. That is going to be turning out of play. And it is out of play. So the count will stay at 3-2. Another big pitch coming up here for Tsunami. Still 3-2 the count to Keller. Tsunami will step back onto the mound here. Tsunami looks over to Cooper Smith, who's going to steal second, and that one is fouled back, so Cooper Smith is going to have to come all the way back to first. Still 3-2 the count as Keller fouls that one away. Keller able to keep himself alive here. This is still another big pitch. Still 3-2 the count. Tsunami now will set, deliver, swung on and pop back. That is right field side over the bleachers again. And so the count will continue to stay 3-2. Keller doing a great job of just fouling away and staying alive. Keller will step back in. Still 3-2 the count. Tsunami now will set, deliver. Smith is going to steal second, and he won't have to, as that is going to be a ball 4 walk to Jake Keller, as that was ball 4 upstairs. And so now runners on first and second here for the Pioneers with 1 out in the top of the 6th. And now that'll bring on number 47, Ray Hernandez, the designated hitter, as the wind is calmed down a little bit here in Niagara. Hernandez singled in his first at-bat, walked in his second at-bat. He has home run power. I don't think he's going to hit one here, even though it is a bit of a smaller field than what Dunfield is, but the wind is not in Hernandez's favor. 1 out here still in the top of the 6th. Tsunami will set deal. Cooper Smith is going to try and steal third. Keller's going to try and steal second. He will steal second as the throw was off from Galinsky. So both runners will advance on a 1-0 count to Hernandez. So 1-0 the count to Hernandez. 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Or excuse me, it's actually 0-1. That was called strike 1. So 0-1 the count to Hernandez. 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Runners on second and third. Keller the tying run at second. Tsunami will set deal. That one is going to be called strike 2. Hernandez turned away as if that one was inside. Still called strike 2. So 0-2 the count out to Hernandez. Hernandez going to have to foul away here in order to stay alive. Tsunami now, 0-2. Will now set, deliver. That is going to be in there. Called strike 3. Hernandez goes down looking. He is not happy with the call. And so that will be the first strikeout for, or excuse me, the second strikeout for Tsunami. And that will put 2 outs here on the board in the top of the 6th. And now that'll bring on over to Dom Presto, the shortstop. Struck out in his first at-bat, grounded out in his second at-bat. Still runners on second and third for the Pioneers with now 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Tsunami will set deal. That is check swing. He did not go, they're going to say. I don't think. No, they are going to say he went. So they're going to say Presto swung. It didn't look like from over here that he went. But the count is going to go 0-1 to Presto. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Presto, it would be so clutch if he can get a base hit here. Tsunami 0-1 will set, deliver. That is upstairs and outside for ball 1. So 1-1 the count to Presto. If Presto were to be walked, that would load the bases for Spencer Aubin. 1-1 the count to Presto. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Pioneers trying to tie this ball game up. Tsunami 1-1 will set, deliver. That is check swing. They are going to say ball 2. So 2-1 the count. They're going to say Presto did not go that time. So Presto will take the lead in the count 2-1. This is a massive at-bat here for the Pioneers. We're trying to tie it up here in the top of the 6th. 2-1 the count now to Presto. Tsunami now will set, deliver, swing and a miss by Presto, and the count will even up at deuces wild. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. This is a massive pitch coming up for Tsunami. 2-2, Tsunami now will set, deliver. That is upstairs and outside, ball 3. An even bigger pitch coming up here now as the count is full. 3-2 to Presto. If Presto is walked, that loads the bases for Aubin. If Presto strikes out or gets out in any way, that ends the top of the 6th inning. Tsunami now, 3-2. Will now set, deliver. That is outside, ball 4. That will be a walk for Dom Presto. And that will load the bases here in the top of the 6th inning for the Pioneers. And now that will bring up number 42, Spencer Aubin, the left fielder. Aubin has been hot tonight. He walked in his first at-bat, singled in his second at-bat. If Tsunami walks Aubin or Aubin gets a base hit, that would score some runs for the Pioneers and potentially tie it up or at least close the gap a little bit. Bases loaded for the Pioneers here with 2 outs in the top of the 6th. Tsunami now will set, deliver, swing, and it's popped back by Aubin, so the count will go 0-1. 0-1 the count to Aubin. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. This is a massive at-bat. Tsunami 0-1. Will now set, deliver. That is going to be ball 1 inside down low. Aubin almost swung at that. Good thing that he didn't. So the count will now even up at 1-1 to Aubin. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Tsunami 1-1. Will now set, deliver. That is upstairs, ball 2. So 2-1 the count now to Aubin as he will take the lead. Aubin, like I said, if he is walked, that would walk in a run for the Pioneers. The bases are loaded with 2 outs here on the top of the 6th. Tsunami will set, deliver. That is upstairs, ball 3. 3-1 the count to Aubin. This is a massive pitch here for Tsunami as he is in danger of walking in a run for the Pioneers. With 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Aubin looking to draw that walk. 3-1 the count. Tsunami will set, deliver. That is in there. Called strike 2. So 3-2 the count now. This is a massive pitch. 3-2 the count. Bases loaded in the top of the 6th. If Aubin is walked, it walks in a run. If he strikes out, that ends the inning. Tsunami 3-2. Will now set, deliver, swing and a miss by Aubin. He strikes out. It goes down swinging. And that will strand the bases loaded for the Pioneers in the top of the 6th. They get no runs. We go to the bottom of the 6th. They are still down 3-1.
Shared as a human experience with love, integrity, and hope. Hi, my name is Greg Taylor. I'm the vineyard manager and property manager of Bully Hill Vineyards, and I'm a 4th generation winemaker and 5th generation grape grower of my family. So it all started with my great-great-grandfather George and his son Walter Taylor Sr. They came up to this region for the promise of a better life due to the rising wine industry on Keuka Lake. Walter Taylor was the one who first started the Taylor Wine Company. The Taylor Wine Company was one of the largest wineries in the United States. My great-grandfather had passed away, and my grandfather Grayton and his 2 brothers Fred and Clarence took over the company at its peak, producing around 40 million gallons of wine a year. Grayton had a son, Walter, who was my father, and he started Bully Hill Vineyards in 1967. My father had a vision for the Finger Lakes wine industry. When Bully Hill was started, only 5 producers existed, and now there's over 300. And he firmly believed that you have to have a certain level of integrity and honesty with the people around you and yourself. And these are kind of the staples of what our business is. Bully Hill was built on the back of French-American hybrid vines. These varietals were developed in France in the 19th century, and they were brought over by my...
Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the bottom of the 6th inning here, and a pitching change here for the Pioneers. Nick Montagna is done for the night. He gave up 3 runs, 2 of those earned, in 5 innings pitched, off of about 5 or 6 hits, with only 1 error. It'll now be Kevin Serrano, number 3 on the mound for the Pioneers. And I just want to say briefly, before I go into Serrano's stats, Nick Montagna, you did a fantastic job tonight. Montagna was amazing. He got some rough calls from the officials, and so that kind of screwed him over a little bit. But I'm not blaming that on him. He still did fantastic. And so now, as I will look into Serrano's stats, Serrano so far this season for the Pioneers has made 3 appearances. This will be his 4th. He's a 15.43 ERA in 2 innings pitched. He's given up 2 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned, 5 walks, and has 1 strikeout so far this season. And so now leading off this inning for the Power, it will be number 28, Jeremy Galinsky, The catcher who singled in his first at-bat flew out in his second at-bat. Serrano looking to keep this game where it is. Serrano now will set, deliver, swung on a driven into right. Schroeder will come under to make the play. So that is one pitch, one out for Kevin Serrano here in the bottom of the sixth. That's a very good start for him. And so now that'll bring on number 17, Brett Johnson, the left fielder. So far, Johnson struck out in his first at-bat, flew out in his second at-bat. Serrano now will set, deliver. That one is down low and outside. That gets by Charnetsky. And the count will go 1-0. Serrano has been improving with every appearance that he's made so far this season, but he did start out pretty rough. He didn't even start out with league game appearances. He started out with a couple of exhibition game appearances as Johnson fouls that one back. So the count here in the bottom of the sixth. Serrano's been improving. I would love to see him go cleanly through this inning here, as it's still McGovern and Nelson in the bullpen to potentially come in later on in this one. Serrano will set, deal. That one is in there. Called strike two. 1-2 the count to Johnson. Serrano looking for his first strikeout of the night here to put 2 outs on the board in the bottom of the sixth. This would be a big one. Serrano 1-2. Will now set, deliver. That is down low for ball 2. So 2-2 the count to Johnson. Serrano has a little bit of an interesting pitching motion. He almost seems as if he's shot putting the baseball forward almost. It's very interesting. I've never seen that with any other pitcher, but it seems to work for him. 2-2. Serrano will set, deal. That one is upstairs and outside for ball 3. So 3-2 the count now to Johnson. 1 out here in the bottom of the sixth. Serrano still looking for that first strikeout to put 2 outs on the board. Serrano now 3-2. Will now set, deliver, swing, and it's popped back foul. And so the count will stay 3-2 to Johnson. Johnson now will reset in the batter's box here. 3-2 still the count to Serrano. 1 out here in the bottom of the sixth. This is a big pitch for Serrano. Serrano 3-2 will now set, deliver. That is going to be down low, ball 4. Like I said before, it looks like some of his pitches when he's throwing it, it almost looks like he's shot putting it forward and more pushing the baseball. But it's only about half the time, so it's hard to tell. But that will be a walk for Johnson, so he will go over to first with 1 out here in the bottom of the sixth. And now that'll bring up number 16, Miles Pallister, the center fielder, who popped out in his first at-bat, grounded out in his second at-bat. Serrano now will set, deliver, swung on a driven. That is a base hit in the left. And that is going to be just a single as Johnson is held up as Aubin cuts the baseball off. Well, that will be a base hit single for Pallister with 1 out here in the bottom of the sixth to put runners on first and second for the Power. And so now we go back to the top of the order again for the Power and to number 20, Zach Evans, the shortstop. He was walked in his first at-bat, lined out in his second at-bat, and then flew out in his third at-bat. Serrano now, as Charnetsky wants to have a word with him. It is still McGovern and Nelson warming up in the bullpen for the Pioneers. Looks like Charnetsky and Serrano are on the same page here as Charnetsky will go back to behind home plate. Serrano now, 1 out here in the bottom of the sixth. We'll look over to second, and Johnson, and now will set, deliver. That one is in there. Called strike 1. 0-1 the count to Evans. 1 out here in the bottom of the sixth. Serrano now 0-1. Will now set, deal, swung on a driven third base side. Musio grabs it. He will tag him at third and throw to first. Not in time. However, that is a fielder's choice out as he does get the out at third. And so Evans will reach first on a fielder's choice, but that will put 2 outs here in the bottom of the sixth. A great play there by Muzio to outrun Johnson to third base and get that out. So now that'll put 2 outs here in the bottom of the sixth and bring up number 13, Andrew Fairbrother, the extra hitter tonight. He was walked in his first at-bat, grounded out in his second at-bat, and then reached by an error in his third at-bat. Serrano now will set, deliver. That one is just outside, ball 1 to Fairbrother. So 1-0 the count to him. 2 outs here in the bottom of the sixth. Still runners on first and second for the Power. It is just now Pallister at second and Evans at first. Serrano now is going to check over to second, and he completely misses the throw. And now Pallister is going to go to third. Noss is going to try and throw it in there to Muzio. Muzio misses it now, and they're scrambling for the baseball. And now everything will be held up as Serrano and Muzio finally combine to get the baseball. And Serrano has allowed both runners to advance. So now 2 outs here in the bottom of the sixth. A 1-0 count to Fairbrother, but now runners on second and third for the Power. Serrano now, 1-0. Needs an out here in order to end the inning. Well, now set deal. That one is down low and outside. That one almost gets away from Charnetsky. Good job by Charnetsky just to get in front of it and keep it in front of him as Pallister was looking to run home. 2-0 the count to Fairbrother, and Serrano really needs this out. He cannot afford to walk Fairbrother as that loads the bases. And Serrano just looking to keep this game at a 2-run deficit for the Pioneers and give the Pioneers bats a chance to answer. Serrano 2-0. Will now set, deliver. That is going to be upstairs, ball 3. So 3-0 the count to Fairbrother here. Serrano needs a strike in order to save off the walk. 3-0 the count to Fairbrother. Serrano now. 2 outs here in the bottom of the sixth. Well, now set, deliver. That one is just down low and outside, ball 4. So that is a walk for Fairbrother that loads the bases here for the Power in the bottom of the sixth with 2 outs on the board. Serrano still only needs just 1 out in order to get out of this jam. And now that'll bring him number 44, Jackson Strong, the right fielder. Grounded out in his first at-bat, doubled in his second at-bat, flew out in his third at-bat. Or no, he didn't fly out in his third at-bat. That was the weird at-bat where Schroeder caught the baseball in right. And then they still walked Jackson Strong to first, so I don't really know what to call that. That one is outside for ball 1 from Serrano, so 1-0 the count to Strong. Serrano cannot walk Strong here, as that would walk in a run for the Power. 1-0 the count. Serrano now will set, deliver. That is down low, ball 2. Once again, Serrano, just some of his pitches, and oftentimes it's the down low, weakly thrown pitches, or the ones he looks like he's shot putting towards home plate. I think if he just stops shot putting the baseball, then I think he'll have much better success. 2-0 the count to Strong. Serrano now. Well, now set, deliver. That one is in there, called strike 1. And see, that one he didn't shot put the baseball on that, and he throws it in there for a strike. I think if he just stops and gets out of that mentally, out of that habit, I think he's going to do a lot better. 2-1 the count out of Strong. Serrano now will set, deliver. That one is in there, called strike 2. Another one where he didn't shot put it. 2-2 the count now. Back-to-back strikes as it evens up at Deuces Wild here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the sixth. Serrano needs a strikeout or any out in order to end the inning and get out of this bases loaded jam. Serrano 2-2 will now set, deliver. That one is in there. How is that not called strike 3? That was such a called strike 3. And that one will be ruled down low for ball 3. So 3-2 the count to Strong. And now this is a massive pitch, as if Serrano walks Strong, that walks in a run. If he strikes him out, that ends the inning. 3-2 the count now to Serrano. Or excuse me, to Strong. Serrano now is going to step off the mound, and lucky that was not a balk. And so Serrano will reset here. Still 3-2 the count to Strong. 2 outs here in the bottom of the fifth, or bottom of the sixth, excuse me. Serrano 3-2. Massive pitch will set, deliver. That one is in there. How is that not called strike 3? Nope, it's going to be ruled ball upstairs, so ball 4. That is two bad calls from over here. Once again, the umpiring has been not good tonight for the Pioneers. They have not been able to catch a break. And so that will score a run for the Power as they now lead it 4-1. And this game is getting more and more out of reach for the Pioneers as their bats have been silent for most of the night. And so now that I bring on number 2, Vincent Morrow, the third baseman, hit by a pitch in his first at-bat, flew out in his second at-bat, and then RBI singled in his third at-bat. Still 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th, and still the base is loaded for the Niagara Power. Serrano now will set, delivers, swung on a driven over to Bear at second. He will turn to Presto at second, throw to first in time, but there were already 2 outs on the board, so Presto didn't even have to do that. And that will end the inning on a ground out by Morrow. And so no more runs for the Power in the bottom of the 6th. They only get 1. It is now a 4-1 ball game as the Power lead it. Pioneers, as we go to the top of the 7th, will look to answer and get back on the board. They haven't been able to do that since the top of the 4th. We'll be right back right after this. Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the top of the 7th inning here. Vinny Tsunami still on the mound for the Power. And in an inning that the Pioneers need to at least start to chip away at this lead by the Power. It's currently 4-1 in favor of the Niagara Power. Pioneers looking to change that here. It'll be number 24, Eric Charnetsky, the catcher, leading off here as Tsunami will set deal. That is chopped foul right in front of my camera. Left field side, and so the count will go 0-1 to Charnetsky. No outs here in the top of the 7th. Charnetsky so far has grounded out in his first at-bat, singled in his second at-bat. That one will be outside for ball 1. So 1-1 the count now to Tsunami, or excuse me, to Charnetsky from Tsunami. No outs here in the top of the 7th. Tsunami now. 1-1, sets, delivers. That one is outside, ball 2. That one got away from Galinsky. So the count will go 2-1 in Charnetsky's favor. Pioneers looking for base runners. They'll take any that they can get. Tsunami will set deal. That one is swung on and chopped foul again. Left field side down the third base line. So the count will even up at 2-2 now to Charnetsky. No outs here on the top of the 7th. Tsunami shakes off one pitch. 2-2 and now sets, delivers. That one is down low for ball 3. So 3-2 the count to Charnetsky. Full count here. Charnetsky looking to draw a walk or get a base hit to try and get on base. Tsunami 3-2 will now set, delivers, swung on and popped up. That might be a blooper base hit. It will be a blooper base hit in the left. And that is going to be a base hit single for Charnetsky. A blooper that went over the shortstop, Evans' head. And the left fielder couldn't get to it. It was Johnson who couldn't get to it. And Evans, it went over his head. And so runner on first here and a leadoff single for the Pioneers here in the top of the 7th, no outs. And now we go back to the top of the order for the Pioneers. And the leadoff man, number 33, Kevin Noss, the center fielder tonight, flew out in his first at-bat, singled in his second at-bat, struck out in his third at-bat. Tsunami now will set, deliver. That one is in there, called strike 1. 0-1 the count now to Noss. No outs here in the top of the 7th. Tsunami looks over to Charnetsky. And now we'll set, deliver, swung on it, driven. That is going to be right to the shortstop, Evans, who will go to second, go to first in time. That is a 6-4-3 double play. And there's 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. That is the worst case scenario for the Pioneers, as now both their base runners are gone on a 6-4-3 double play. And so now with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th, that will bring up number 77, Joe Muzio, the third baseman. Grounded out in his first at-bat, flew out in his second at-bat, struck out in his third at-bat. Muzio now will step in here with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. So Nami now will set, deal. That is popped back foul. And so the count will go 0-1. 0-1 the count to Muzio. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Muzio just looking to get on to just keep the inning going. 0-1, Tsunami will set, deal. That is down low for ball 1. Check swing, he did not go. And so the count will now even up to Muzio. 1-1, 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Tsunami 1-1. Will now set, deliver. That is going to be upstairs, called ball 2. So 2-1 the count to Muzio, as he will take the lead in the count. 2 outs here still in the top of the 7th. Muzio trying to get on for the first time tonight. Tsunami will set, deal, swing and a miss by Muzio. And the count will even up at deuces wild here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Tsunami 2-2. Will now set, deliver. That is going to be inside. Called strike 3. And that will be a strikeout to end the inning. The Pioneers, they go down and get no runs here in the top of the 7th, an inning that they really needed to answer. And so we go to the bottom of the 7th. They're still down 4-1.
Are each part of the whole of you. To continue a tradition of medicine driven by compassion, teaching, and healing. That's why we're here. It's who we are. It's what we do.
What if white wine was not made for poultry, but for friendship? What if red wine set aside the steak and made room for love? What if we've been drinking wine wrong all along, and instead wine was to be shared as a human experience with love, integrity, and hope? Hi, my name is Greg Taylor. I'm the vineyard manager and property manager of Bully Hill Vineyards, and I'm a 4th generation winemaker and 5th generation grape grower of my family. So it all started with my great-great-grandfather George and his son Walter Taylor Sr. They came up to this region for the promise of a better life due to the rising wine industry on Keuka Lake. Walter Taylor was the one who first started the Taylor Wine Company. The Taylor Wine Company was one of the largest wineries in the United States. My great-grandfather had passed away, and my grandfather Grayton and his 2 brothers Fred and Clarence took over the company at its peak, producing around 40 million gallons of wine a year. Grayton had a son, Walter, who was my father, and he started Bully Hill Vineyards in 1967. My father had a vision for the Finger Lakes wine industry. When Bully Hill was started, only 5 producers existed.
Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the bottom of the 7th inning here. Kevin Serrano back on the mound for the Pioneers here in the bottom of the 7th. And now leading off for the Power in this bottom of the 7th, it'll be number 30, Andrew Stillinger, the designated hitter. Popped out in his first at-bat, flew out in his second at-bat, singled in his third at-bat. Pioneers need Kevin Serrano to go through this inning as cleanly as possible in order to try and get the bats back up, as they are down 3 runs here in the bottom of the 7th and quickly running out of time. Serrano will set, deliver. That is down low for ball 1. So 1-0 the count to Stillinger. No outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Serrano 1-0. Will now set, deal. That is in there. Called strike 1. So 1-1 the count now as it evens up to Stillinger. No outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Serrano 1-1 will now set fire. That is inside ball 2. So 2-1 the count to Stillinger. No outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Serrano 2-1 will now set, deliver, swung on a driven into left. Aubin is slowly moving under and he will make the play. So that is a fly out by Stillinger to put 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th, and that is a good start for Serrano. He needs to try and go through this inning as cleanly and as quickly as possible. So now that'll bring up number 9, Cal Brazier, the first baseman, who has been a thorn in the Pioneers' side tonight. He ground out in his first at-bat, but then he doubled in his second at-bat, and then RBI singled in his third at-bat. Serrano now, 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Will set, deliver, that one is in there. Called strike 1. 0-1 the count to Brazier, 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Serrano 0-1 will set, deal, swing and a miss by Brazier, and the count quickly goes 0-2 now. Serrano looking for his first strikeout of the night to put 2 outs on the board here in the bottom of the 7th. Big opportunity here on the 0-2 count. Serrano shakes off a couple of pitches. And now we'll set, deliver. That one is upstairs for ball 1, and that got by Charnetsky. So the count will now go 1-2 to Brazier. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Serrano can still pick up his first strikeout here. It'd be a big one. 1-2 the count. Serrano now will set, deliver. That one is in there, just inside for ball 2. So 2-2 the count now to Brazier. As it evens up, 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Serrano can still pick up that strikeout here. He needs it. Serrano 2-2. Will now set, deliver. That is upstairs, ball 3. And now this is going to be a big pitch coming up here for Serrano. As now the count will go 3-2. Serrano 3-2, set, steals. That one is inside, call ball 4. I thought that was called strike 3, to be honest. So that'll be a walk for Brazier to put a runner on first here with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Serrano and Pioneers in general just haven't gotten a lot of calls tonight. They really haven't. And so now that'll bring up number 41, Billy Morris, the second baseman. Singled in his first at-bat, ground out in his second at-bat, flew out in his third at-bat. Serrano now will set, deliver. That one is down low for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Morris. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Brazier off of first. Serrano now will step off the mound as he's granted time. 1-0 the count. Serrano leans in. And now we'll set, deliver. That one is down low, ball 2. So 2-0 the count to Billy Morris here. 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Serrano 2-0, needs a pitch to get back in the count here. Serrano will set, deliver. That one is down low and outside, ball 3. So 3-0 the count here to Morris, and Serrano needs just a pitch to stave off the walk at this point. The count is 3-0. Serrano now, he needs to strike here. 3-0 the count, will set, deliver. That one is in there, called strike 1. He gets exactly that. So 3-1 the count now to Morris. He needs it again here, however. He still needs another strike to stave it off. Or try and get a ground out, pop out, any out. What that means. Serrano 3-1 will set, deliver. Brazier's going to try and steal. And that is going to be a base hit into center. And Brazier's going to be stopped at third. That is a base hit single by Morris. That will put runners on the corners for the Power with 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. And it is already a 3-run deficit for the Pioneers. Any more runs in this game becomes increasingly difficult for the Pioneers to come back. And so now that'll bring up number 28, Jeremy Galinsky, the catcher. He singled in his first at-bat, flew out in his next 2 at-bats. And by the way, yep, so the Pioneers, if they do not win this baseball game, they will no longer be the #1 team in the Western Division standings, as Batavia is rolling over Newark, 6-0 the score in that one. That one is down low and inside for ball 1 to Galinsky, and it was Morris who was able to steal second. So Morris, with no throw from Charnetsky, will steal second. So runners on second and third here now for the Power. 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. 1-0 the count to Galinsky. Serrano now. Will now set, deliver, swing and a miss by Galinsky, and the count goes 1-1. So Aces Wild the count here now. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And the Pioneers fighting for the #1 spot. If they lose this game, Batavia will take over, and they will drop down to second. They'll still have a game up over Jamestown, though, so they will not be tied for second. Serrano will set deal. That one is down low for ball 2. So 2-1 the count now to Galinsky. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Serrano 2-1 needs a pitch here to get back in the count with runners on second and third. If Serrano were to walk Galinsky, that would load the bases again for the Power. Serrano will set, deliver, swung on and pop back. That came off of Galinsky's foot and rolled down the third base line. So the count will now even up at 2-2 now. Serrano still looking for his first strikeout. He can still pick it up here and put 2 outs on the board. It'd be big here if he can. 2-2 the count to Galinsky. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Serrano now will set, deliver, swing and a miss by Galinsky. He goes down swinging. That is the first strikeout of the night for Kevin Serrano, and that will put 2 outs on the board here in the bottom of the 7th. That was a massive strikeout for Serrano to put 2 outs on the board. And now that'll bring up number 17, Brett Johnson, the left fielder. Struck out in his first at-bat, flew out in his second at-bat, walked in his third at-bat. He'll now be stepping in here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Serrano just looking to get 1 more out in order to end the inning and keep this game where it is. That one is in there, called strike 1. 0-1 the count out of Johnson. Serrano 2 strikes away. Serrano now 0-1. Will now set, deliver. That one is upstairs for ball 1. So the count will go 1-1 here. And even out to Johnson. 2 outs here still in the bottom of the 7th. Serrano now 1-1. Will now set, deliver. That one is outside. Ball 2, and that one gets by Charnetsky, and that is going to score Brazier, as Charnetsky is going to recover it. So now it is a 5-1 ball game. This one is getting further and further away from the Pioneers' reach, and it looks less and less likely that the Pioneers are going to be staying #1 in the standings after this ball game. So 2-1 the count now to Johnson. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. But off of a wild pitch, a run will score for the Power. Serrano now 2-1. Will now set, deliver. That one is outside, called ball 3. So 3-1 the count now to Johnson. Serrano looking to stave off the walk. Serrano 3-1 will set, deliver. That one is inside, hit Johnson, and so that will be a walk. Or excuse me, that'll just be a hit by pitch. So a hit by pitch for Johnson as he will go over to first. Still 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th, so still any out ends it for Serrano. And Morris is down there at third at the bottom of your screen. And now that I bring up number 16, Miles Pallister, the center fielder. Popped out in his first at-bat, grounded out in his second at-bat, singled in his third at-bat. Serrano now will step in to face Pallister here. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th, Serrano will set, deliver. That is going to be slipped off the mound when he threw that pitch. That will be 1-0. So 1-0 the count to Pallister. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Serrano will set, deliver, swung on and chopped over to first. Keller will grab it and go to first, and so that will be a tag up to end the inning. So only 1 run given up in the bottom of the 7th to the Niagara Power. However, that does make it 5-1. The Pioneers, who have 6 outs remaining, as we go to the top of the 8th, will look to chip away right after this. Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the top of the 8th inning here, and a new pitcher on the mound for the Power here in this top of the 8th inning, as it is number 10, Alex DeZeman, who will be pitching here. He is not normally a pitcher. He is a position player normally. So this is a position player pitcher for the Power here. I said early on that there might be seeing a couple tonight, and here we go. As DeZeman will step in to face Schroeder here. Schroeder 0 for 3 tonight. 2 ground outs and a fly out. Looking to get on base for the first time, as he will take ball 1 from DeZeman. So 1-0 the count to Schroeder. No outs here in the top of the 8th. DeZeman now. 1-0 will set, deliver, swung on a skied in the shallow left. And the left fielder will come in to make the play. That is Johnson, who catches the fly out by Schroeder. So he is 0 for 4 tonight. That is very unlike Schroeder. But that will put 1 out here in the top of the 8th. And so now that'll bring up number 8, Cooper Smith, the extra hitter. Flew out in his first at-bat. Reached by an error in the second at-bat, and then was walked in his third at-bat. DeZeman will set, deliver. That is in there. Called strike 1. 0-1 the count to Smith. 1 out here in the top of the 8th. Power are 5 outs away from knocking Elmira out of the first place in the standings. DeZeman will set, deal. That is down low, and that gets by Galinsky, completely by him. And so the count will even up at 1-1 to Cooper Smith. It's actually aces wild. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the 8th. DeZeman will set, deliver. That is swung on a driven down to the third baseman, Morrow, directly at him. And that will be an out on a ground out, as Brazier had to jump up to catch it, but still got down in time. So that will be back-to-back outs here for the Pioneers. Not what they were looking for. And that'll put 2 outs in the top of the 8th. And so now that'll bring up number 44, Chris Bear, the second baseman. Struck out in his first at-bat. RBI singled in his second at-bat, and then struck out again in his third at-bat. 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. DeZeman will set, deliver, swing and a miss by Bear, and the count quickly goes 0-1. 0-1 the count to Bear. DeZeman now will set, deliver, swung on a driven. That is going to be an out, as that will end the inning, as Billy Morris, the second baseman, catches that. That is a line out by Bear to end the top of the 8th inning. No runs, no base runners even for the Pioneers at the top of the 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th. They're still down 5-1.
operated since 1905. At the Hilliard Corporation, we've proven ourselves time and time again as the leading industrial manufacturer in the Elmira and Southern Tier region. We make the products you need with the quality you and your business deserve. Industrial clutches and brakes, drivetrain products, filtration equipment, engine starters, braking systems. We engineer, manufacture, and distribute them. All of the products we manufacture are designed right here, so we truly know the products we provide for you, inside and out. On top.
Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the bottom of the 8th inning here. Pioneers down 5-1 to the Power. They need a good inning from Kevin Serrano, who is still on the mound for the Pioneers here. Leading off, it will be number 20, Zach Evans, the shortstop tonight. As Serrano will set deal. That one goes way by Charnetsky, so the count will go 1-0 to Evans. No outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Evans so far was walked in his first at-bat, lined out in his second at-bat, flew out in his third at-bat, and reached on a fielder's choice in his fourth at-bat. Serrano will set deal, swung on a popped up into right field. That is out of play and foul, so the count will go 1-1. 1-1 the count to Evans. No outs here in the bottom of the 5th, or bottom of the 8th. What am I saying? 1-1 the count. Serrano now will set, deliver. That is down low for ball 2, excuse me. So 2-1 the count now to Evans as he will take the lead in the count. No outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Serrano 2-1. Will now set, deliver. That one is in there just inside ball 3. So 3-1 the count now to Evans. 3-1 the count to Evans. Serrano looking to dodge a leadoff walk here as he will take time to tie his shoes real quick. Serrano needs some outs here. Serrano 3-1. Will now set, deal. That one is in there. Called strike 2. So 3-2 the count now to Evans. This is a big pitch coming up here for Serrano in the first at-bat of this inning. He's looking for the strikeout. It would be his second strikeout of the night to put one out on the board here in the bottom of the 8th. Serrano 3-2 sets, deals. That one is outside. Ball 4. So that will be a leadoff walk for Zach Evans here to put a runner on first for the Power with no outs in the bottom of the 8th. And so now that'll bring up number 13, Andrew Fairbrother, the extra hitter tonight. Was walked in his first at-bat, grounded out in his second at-bat, reached by an error in his third at-bat, and then was walked again in his fourth at-bat. Serrano now will have to face Fairbrother with no outs and a runner on first. Serrano now will set, deliver. That one is outside, ball 1. And Charnetsky was ready to throw to first. He didn't need to, as Evans was coming back. So 1-0 the count to Fairbrother. No outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Like I said early on in this stream, the Pioneers, as that one is swung on, it popped into center. That is going to get down. That is a base hit. A single, blooper single into center in between Noss and Bear will get down for a base hit in a single. And the Pioneers, they knew this was going to be a tough task coming into Niagara. They have barely any pitching left. They had Nick Montagna, position player, pitch to start the game. He was fantastic through 5 innings. Only gave up 3 runs. Only 1 of that was earned, in my book at least. And so Montagna was fantastic, and now Serrano has relieved him, given up 2 runs since. The Pioneers' bats have just not answered as that one flew out into right, and Schroeder is going to throw back in time. So fly out there by Strong to put 1 out here on the board in the bottom of the 8th. But as I was mentioning, the Pioneers have barely any pitching left. I don't even know what they're going to do for pitching tomorrow, as they don't really have any actual pitchers left. It could just be an entire position pitch game for tomorrow. All of the arms for the Pioneers are on rest right now. None of them are available, as there have been just so many doubleheaders in recent days. As that one is swung on and driven over to Muzio at third. Muzio will turn to first in time, and that will be 2 away. So ground out by Morrow, 2 outs on the board here in the bottom of the 8th. But Serrano has to be very careful here, as there's runners at second and third now for the Power. And so now that'll bring up number 30, Andrew Stillinger, the designated hitter. Popped out in his first at-bat, flew out in his second at-bat, singled in his third at-bat, and then flew out again in his fourth at-bat. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Serrano now, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Will now set, deliver. That one is in there. Called strike 1. 0-1 the count to Stillinger. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Serrano 2 strikes away, from getting out of this inning cleanly. Serrano 0-1. Will now set, deliver, swing, and a check swing. They're going to say he went. They're going to say he did not go. So that is going to even up the count at 1-1. So 1-1 the count to Stillinger. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Serrano, 1-1. We'll look in. And now we'll set, deliver, swung on it, driven over to short, and Presto dropped it! And that'll score a run! And Presto could not field it cleanly to throw to first, and that will score a run off of an error. That is a reach by error for Stillinger. And that costs the Pioneers a run there. And so now that'll be 6-1. The score line will read. Still 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. And now the number 9, Cal Brazier, the first baseman, grounded out in his first at-bat, doubled in his second at-bat, RBI singled in his third at-bat, and then was walked in his fourth at-bat. It is Fairbrother off third, as the runner at first is going to steal it. Stillinger will be safe, as the throw from Charnetsky was to the left. Serrano 1-0. Will now set, deliver. That one is down low and outside for ball 2. So 2-0 the count. So get Brazier here. 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th still. So any out ends it for Serrano. Serrano 2-0. Will now set, deliver, swing, and a chop back by Brazier. And so the count will go 2-1 now. As he popped that one back. Looks like he was grimacing, so he got the worst of that. 2-1 the count now to Brazier. 2 outs here still in the bottom of the 8th. Serrano 2-1. Will now set, deliver, swing, and a miss by Brazier, and the count will even up at 2-2. So 2-2 the count now to Brazier. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Serrano now, looking for the strikeout. It would be his second of the night here to end the bottom of the 8th. Serrano deuces wild the count, 2-2. Will now set, deliver. That is down low and outside, ball 3. Charnetsky able to keep it in front of him. So 3-2 the count now to Brazier. And a massive pitch coming up here for Serrano. As if Serrano walks Brazier, that would load the bases for the Power. Still with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Serrano 3-2. Will now set, deliver. That one is just outside ball 4. And so that'll be a walk for Brazier to load the bases for the Power with still 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Serrano now will have to face number 41, Billy Morris, the second baseman. Morris singled in his first at-bat, grounded out in his second at-bat, flew out in his third at-bat, and then singled again in his fourth at-bat. Still 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th, so still any out ends the inning for Serrano. Serrano now will set, deliver, swung on it, driven. That is a base hit into center, and that is going to score 1 run. That is going to score 2 runs. And the Power have pulled away entirely from this one. It is 8-1 in favor of the Power, and the Pioneers are going to have to enjoy their last 3 outs of being in first place. Still Batavia's running over Newark right now. So, unless the Pioneers, yeah, Batavia is leading 8-1 over Newark, so that game is pretty much done. And so, if the Pioneers cannot mount a 7-run comeback, and that's if Serrano can still get out of this inning, as Morris will get an RBI single. And now Galinsky will be at the plate, number 28, Jeremy Galinsky. The catcher singled in his first at-bat as that is ball one from Serrano. Like I said, Galinsky singled in his first at-bat, flew out in his second at-bat, flew out in his third at-bat, and then struck out in his fourth at-bat. Serrano now 1-0. Will now set, deliver. That one is inside, ball two. So 2-0 the count now to Galinsky. 2 outs here in the bottom of the eighth. Serrano 2-0. Well, now set, deliver. That one is down low, ball three. So 3-0 the count to Galinsky. 2 outs here still in the bottom of the eighth. Serrano, 3-0 the count, trying to avoid walking Galinsky here. That would load the bases again for the power. Still with 2 outs here in the bottom of the eighth. Serrano will set deal. That one is in there. Called strike one. So Serrano staves off the walk for now. 3-1 goes the count to Galinsky. 2 outs here in the bottom of the eighth. Serrano now sets, delivers. That one is down low for ball four. So that'll be a walk for Galinsky. And that will put the bases loaded here with 2 outs in the bottom of the eighth. So bases loaded, and now that'll bring on number 17, Brett Johnson, the left fielder. Struck out in his first at-bat, flew out in his second at-bat, walked in his third at-bat, and then hit by a pitch in his fourth at-bat. This game just got away from the Pioneers. Montagna kept them in it. That was the thing, is that Montagna just kept them in it. The bats just simply couldn't do anything. And since then, it's just been all downhill. And that one is down low and away from Serrano, so the count will go 1-0 to Johnson. 1-0 to Johnson, 2 outs here in the bottom of the eighth. This was definitely a winnable baseball game at one point for the Pioneers. If the bats had just gotten going a little bit earlier, I think the Pioneers could have easily been in this one. As the count will now go 1-1 to Johnson, as that is called strike one from Serrano. So 1-1 the count to Johnson, 2 outs here in the bottom of the eighth. Serrano now will set, deliver. That is down low for ball two. So 2-1 the count now to Johnson. 2 outs here in the bottom of the eighth. Serrano 2-1. Will now set. Deal, swung on a driven. That is going to get down. That is a base hit. That'll score 1 run. That'll score 2 runs. And that will score 3 runs. And so now it is 11-1. And now that will end the ball game on the mercy rule, I do believe. Yep, that will end it. The final score of this one is 11-1. The Pioneers come to Niagara for the last time and get mercy ruled. And so now the Pioneers will drop to 24-13-1. And now we're going to have to bank on a miracle from Newark, who are currently down 8-1 in the bottom of the 6th inning of that game in order to keep themselves in first place of the West Division standings. Otherwise, they are going to have to enjoy their last 4 innings of the Batavia game where they are in first place. Because after this loss, the Pioneers will now be in second place in the West Division standings. And Batavia will take back over the number 1 spot. And now looking back at the upcoming schedule, they'll be home versus Auburn tomorrow on the 22nd for Faith and Family Night. Then they'll be on the road at Newark for a doubleheader on Sunday, the 23rd. And then they'll be off for 2 days, and those are much needed off days in order to rest up their pitching staff for not only the last week of the season, but also for the playoff push. And then they will get the games restarted on the 26th versus Newark at home. And then they'll be on the road at Auburn on the 27th. The Pioneers drop this one 11-1 the final until tomorrow. back home.